is representing people of America on the Hill. They want to eliminate the U.S. Senate. They want to replace the president and the U.S. Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen by a subordinate to Congress. They want amnesty for all immigrants. And they want to defund the Department of War.
This is according to a source inside the DSA.
Yeah, but the main point is that there was this massive talking point that this is just liberal states and, liberal districts where this is happening. I'm sorry. This is happening all across the country. And they have some platforms that a lot of young people and a lot of people that have grievances with the rich are going with. It's anti-American, it's anti-Jew, it's anti-Israel, it's anti the foundation of how this country was built. They believe that our country is deeply flawed, and they're winning. So you got to have a Republican Party that speaks truth to power on all of it. They don't even want the police. They don't want any borders. One candidate said, I don't care if they committed a crime and they're a legal immigrant. You still should not be able to deport them. Oh. So we're not talking about reasonable people, but you got to make the case because these young people are showing up to vote. And the college educated, I know there were some headlines about us talking about the other day, but these college educated people have been indoctrinated and they're not rational. They don't understand the markets. They don't understand any of that. They understand this new world order and they're voting for this as well. So we got to start focusing back on the college campuses again.
And some are framing this as sort of a east to west wave. It's not. It is a tide rising all around us. These candidates have been erupting, have been fomenting all across the country. You're absolutely right. Starting with college campuses, city councils, mayors, district attorneys, etc. So they are all around you. They are all around us, and it is abjectly frightening.
Because what they want to do is radically dismantle this country. A source familiar with the DSA's planning tells Fox News that the party is updating its long-term vision for America next week. And the details, well, they'll grab your attention. The wannabe revolutionaries' agenda has all the sophistication of a ChatGPT document. First on their hit list, abolish the Senate. Well, who needs representation for each state anyway? But while they're planning that, why are they wasting time and money by even running for open seats? Maybe Abdu El-Sayed will actually try to get his medical license now, 10 years later. Second, they'd get rid of the Supreme Court and the president and replace them with a judiciary and executive chosen by Congress. Well, on the court, conservatives for years, they've complained about runaway judges, so we're ahead of you on that, all the way going back to Jefferson and Andrew Jackson. And remember, Robert Bork was so fed up with judicial activism that he thought the court's jurisdiction should be significantly shrunken. So we already have you beat on all that, the way to rein in Article 3 excesses. And eliminating the presidency, well, that's just farcical. It's also another sign of how effective Trump has been in thwarting the entrenched bureaucracy and also in exposing the failures of old Washington. Third, they want to defund the Department of War. Yeah, after all, why should we have any military? If our country is racist and evil and is going to be dismantled anyway, we should just roll over for China and be done with it. I think a communist technocracy would be perfect for the socialists. Everyone follows orders, no religion, no freedom, total control. And we know they already want to abolish ICE, but now they want to grant amnesty for everyone. We've long suspected this. So my response to that, please, please, please make that your first agenda item and talk about it all the time.
Order, right? But it's the Democrats' fault. It's the corporate Democrats. It's all because the Democrats listen to Al Gore or some shit like that. These people are so fucking stupid, I don't know what to say about it. So now we have this idea that these insurgent Democrats, and what is their solution? Is their solution to beat Republicans, to run against Republicans? No. Their solution is to beat Democrats. Like they're part of the problem. No, you are part of the problem because you're a fucking idiot. And you just believe that pablum nonsense that drifts around the left wing, I don't know, whatever sphere, blogosphere, atmosphere, fart sphere, or whatever.
He said fart sphere. Oh my God, that's a word I've never heard used before. Fart sphere. But he's probably a little bit right. You have to admit that these people are bat poop crazy, and at least some of the Democrats are now starting to realize it, albeit too late. They have destroyed the country, or begin to destroy the country, by letting these people into, somewhat power. And they're taking it. And it's like a big old Pac-Man game. You see them going from city to city, spreading their toxicity and just chewing up whatever Democrats they can and spitting them out. And the biggest thing about this is, I hope you're paying attention. I hope every single one of you watching tonight is no longer saying, I don't want to hear it. Nah, it's not for me. I don't want to pay attention. I hope you're not out there following Candace and some of the other crazy people, because this is serious. This is absolutely serious. If you're not watching what is actually happening in certain pockets of America, it will consume us. It will destroy us. These people are crazy. And what Laura was just saying, and the ladies on Fox News before that, these are not made up. This isn't something we are trying to foist upon them. They are telling us their intention. Not a single one of you can ever get caught flat-footed. When somebody is looking in a camera or having a meeting or a Zoom call, and they are telling you specifically, this is what we want, and this is what we stand for, and this is how we're going to get it. And if you're not paying attention, it's on you, not them. A lot of people in New York are now waking up late and seeing, oh man, what happened? Oh yeah, the first chance he got, he tried to take Little Italy off the map. The Goombas weren't standing for that. But it's too late. And I don't want it to be a position or a situation where you wake up a few months from now and realize in your town or someplace close to where you live, they've taken over there. Can you imagine? Just think for a second what people in Minneapolis who have brains think today. They're walking down the street and they're seeing people in full garb from head to toe and women walking around like this. And people doing the thing in the street. And they're thinking to themselves, this is America? And on the other side, they're seeing regular people who they thought were regular. They had an idea that these were just Minnesotans. They're like, whoa, you guys are okay with this? Yes, we love our Somali friends. And then you realize you don't live in America anymore. This is really happening. This isn't a comic book strip. This isn't some sort of facade. This is really happening. Please, beg of you, do not look away. It's happening right here in our country. The enemy is within. Right now, the Democrats, they're stuck. They're stuck facilitating. They're stuck enabling. And people like James Carville, as crazy as he is, are being cast to the fringe. They don't want to hear them. They're so worried. They're so worried about the communist takeover or afraid of the communist takeover of America that they just keep talking, as you've heard over and over, they keep talking about this so-called big tent. It's insane.
And Congresswoman, to that point, do you welcome these Democratic Socialist candidates who we've seen win in New York and Colorado into the party? Do you welcome them into the party and the Congressional Progressive Caucus, which you, of course, helped lead?
Well, I'm a member of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. I'm not a leader in it, so let's be clear on that. But the issues I care deeply about, we have a representative government. And I hate, by the way, all these labels that we see people use right now. But a representative government means that everybody's got a right to have somebody that reflects their voice at the table. Democrats have a big tent.
It's no secret.
Democrats have a big tent, except for the fact it's a circus tent at this point, and you don't have any seat in it. You're a white blonde woman. That tent that you think you can fit in no longer applies to you. There is no such thing as a big tent. I covered this a couple days ago. I don't want to let those kind of people into my tent. You don't bring the enemy into your tent, especially when the enemy tells you flat out, our only objective is, A, first we got to take care of you guys, and then we got to destroy America. I can't get to destroy America until I destroy the Democrat Party first. I don't think they understand that. They need the mechanism, the infrastructure, the funding of the Democrat Party so that they can then wage war against America. They cannot do it on their own. They can't launch a third party. So go ahead and look the other way, and one day you're going to wake up and you're going to hear the tolling of the bells and everybody else in the street going, Allah Akbar. You'll become complicit, just like she is. And that complicity then makes you an enemy of America. Understand that. If you're complicit with the enemy, then you become the enemy. If you're okay with an enemy, if you want to harbor an enemy, like Debbie Dingell, a sitting Democrat on national television, yeah, we need to have a big tent. I hate labels. Oh, I'm sorry. I think you called us deplorables and homophobes and you had all kinds of labels for us. But now all of a sudden, I don't like labels for these people because I'm terrified of them and I need them in my big tent. So when you welcome in the enemy, almost like Stockholm syndrome, you become my enemy. They become your enemy. There may be people in your family, in your workplace, in your church, who are welcoming the enemy. These Democrat socialist candidates, i.e. communists, don't belong in anybody's big tent because they don't want you in theirs. Understand that, Democrats. They don't want you in their tent. They're coming in because you guys have got, this is pretty good. You know, you took all the time to build this tent. Now we're going to kick your asses out. This tent that they are building is full, and it's full of communists, Satanists, anarchists, radicals, whose only stated objective, they never have anything positive to say that they want to do. Every single stated objective that they say is to destroy everything you hold dear. So who would you invite into your house? If they told you, if I come in your house, I am going to break your televisions, steal your food, take advantage of your women, take your money, raid your wife's jewelry drawer, but let me in because I know it's supposed to be a big tent. You think I'm kidding? You just have to listen to what they say.
That the Democratic Socialists of America hate the Democratic Party.
I think we're all on the same page that we hate the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is not really our friend. It isn't.
So why are the DSA such major players in the Democratic Party? This odd relationship can be understood with the cuckoo analogy. In nature, the cuckoo...
She really said cuckoo analogy. I'm like, I got to show people this because cuckoo analogy, it's too appropriate.
survives by trickery. It lays its egg in another bird's nest. The unsuspecting parents raise the imposter as their own until the cuckoo grows strong enough to push the true chicks out. The DSA is the cuckoo inside the Democratic Party.
DSA is not the Democratic Party. We must separate ourselves from the toxic Democratic Party.
We can put forward a clear, aggressive, principled strategy that pushes back against the Democratic leadership and the Democratic Party as a whole.
So if you knew in advance, imagine right now you're Chuck Schumer, you're Hakeem Jeffries, and, Hakeem said maximum warfare everywhere all the time. He didn't realize it was in his own tent. He thought he was battling Trump. He thought he was battling MAGA. He didn't know he had a war on two different fronts. While you're over here trying to focus on MAGA, and seeing how you can bring down Trump, these guys are over here that you think are allies, and they're just putting a spear in your back. In some circles, I'd be like, this is going to be fun to watch. We're going to watch public sacrifices take place inside the Democrat Party. This party is so lacking of leadership that they don't understand. They are invited a Trojan horse into their party. I don't know if we can even call it a Trojan horse. That's a bad analogy. If you remember the whole story about the Trojan horse, they faked the horse was supposed to be friendly, and inside the horse they had the bad guys. These people aren't faking it up front. Our objective is to destroy you. We don't want to be the part of the Democrat Party. We're going to use you. Imagine that. I can't even use the analogy of the Trojan horse. These people are riding right in, straight up front, telling you what they're going to do, and you got idiot Democrats running around having a big tent. What big tent? They hold webinars. They have videos. They make speeches.
State candidates run as Democrats in safe blue districts. They slip through low turnout primaries. And once inside, they use the Democratic label as camouflage while advancing an extremist anti-American agenda far beyond the party's mainstream.
I don't agree with the Democratic Party, but it's a great tool.
A great tool. You have to wonder, do they sit down? Do they have meetings where they're like, hey, you guys want to hear what these people are saying? We need to shut them out. In fact, Bernie and Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib and PayPal and Ro Khanna, now they've let their true feelings and faces be exposed. They hate you. They hate the Democrat Party, and we must just be paramecium to them. We mean absolutely nothing. At least they're stepping stones. They'll shake their hands. They disgusted with us. They want us gone. They want an absolute socialist revolution, a communist insurrection here in the United States. And we can't fault them because they're not hiding it. If there's anything you take away from this show tonight is you can never say moving forward, if you're watching here tonight, that you didn't know. I didn't know what these people were all about. I didn't know that this is what they really thought. They're not hiding it. They tell you exactly what they want to do. They tell you exactly what changes they're going to make. And when they take control, because they don't even consider it an if. They think at this point they are so emboldened that it's a fait accompli. It's going to happen, and that there's nothing you can do about it. Stress it to yourself. Underline it. They're not hiding it. They're proud of it. They're organizing. They're committed. They're not quiet. I've never seen something so brazen in all of my life. I feel like it's a football game. All right, we're going to beat you. Okay. You guys want to come in a huddle and hear our plays? No, nobody would do that. Not a single person would invite the Democrat Socialists of America into their huddle or into their tent, per se. The Democrats are doing that. Their own people in their party are betraying them. Before they can betray America, they have to betray their own party. And so I don't know how other Democrat politicians sit around and let it happen, other than the fact maybe they're being held hostage.
It is a tool that we use.
Once in office, DSA candidates take orders from DSA's internal enforcers and working groups. City halls and state houses start running as socialist machines, controlled by the organization, not the Democratic Party, and certainly not voters.
Yeah. Okay, so as you hear that, they are saying openly, once we get elected, once we get into this low turnout local election in District 19, and we get in, we are not taking directives from the mayor, the governor, the senator, anybody in the Democrat Party. No, we're taking it from the grand poobahs in our Communist Manifesto. And they're letting you know that straight up front. So how can they possibly continue to get elected if people are actually doing their homework and reading and seeing this stuff. You're just acquiescing to idiots. And in the Republicans, you need to actually, this is going to sound weird, you actually need to help people understand what these people are about. I'm not saying support any Democrat, but I think you need to start talking to some of your friends who may be teetering and have this insanity of hating the rich. When did we begin hating the rich? When did we begin hating success? When did we begin thinking that what he has, I just don't want it, I am going to take it? See, that's a whole different aspect of things. We all have coveted, we all have desires, we all have dreams and wishes and aspirations, but none of us have ever taken, well, I don't think any of us have ever taken that to the thing of aspect of, I'm going to take what my neighbor has. Wow, that's a really nice car. He doesn't deserve it. Let's take it. Well, that's a really nice house. Yeah, he doesn't deserve it. Let's take it. And this is what they're all about. No private property rights. You don't deserve a house. A house is a human right. It's not a constitutional right. Doesn't matter where we come from. A house is a human right. Everybody should have some. You've already seen it with food. You see, they're saying it with medical care. Oh, universal health care for all, whatever the hell that means. How can it be for all if nobody's paying for it? The Democrats don't even have sane thoughts about this stuff.
To have a connection with DSA's internal politics, and they have to be committed to the eventual goal of building a separate entity from the Democrats.
DSA are revolutionaries, and the Democrats are their first victims. And in city after city, DSA victories prove their plan works.
See, that's the scariest part. They have proven that their virus works. You know, when we all heard about the little Dr. Anthony and some of the crazy stuff he was doing, you can actually apply that to what these parasites are doing. They're figuring out, they're testing. I don't know even how long they've been testing, that if we do this, if we enter into this cell here, we can overtake the host and we can spread our disease as far and wide as possible, because as of right now, there's no antidote. There's no cure. It's one big festering bubble that nobody can control because nobody's paying attention, and the only people paying attention are the ones who are inviting them in. When I see AOC and Bernie sitting there smiling and raising the hands of every kind of nut job they can find, you have to realize they're going to eat you too. Bernie, you got 3 houses, you make $1 million plus. That ain't going to work anymore. This internal virus that you are launching, you think is going to help you win elections, is going to destroy your lives. Ilhan Omar, maybe that's why you've got zero money now all of a sudden. Mondami in New York City, straight from their own Marxist charter. Democrats keep looking the other way, and you got to pray. You have to pray that they're placating, they're enabling this kind of insurrection that they are openly calling for, this invasive, hostile takeover that they are personally facilitating, doesn't begin to continue to spread. It's a contagion. And I don't know what happened to these kids. I went to college. Many of you went to college. My grandson, that's a whole nother story. My grandson's down here. He's training and he's looking to get better. When did these kids give up? What caused these kids? And I say kids because they're relatively young. What caused them to give up? I would never have been attracted to this ideology. I always desired. When did they just say, life sucks, I just want to take it from other people? I deserve to take it from other people.
I think that the model that we used in New York is 100% replicatable.
And just like the cuckoo, once the DSA grows strong, it pushes the true Democrats out, hollowing the party from within.
Building towards political independence and tearing apart the Democratic Party.
The DSA is not here to strengthen the Democratic Party. It is here to consume it.
These videos are out there, and anybody with the working frontal lobe can now see this is their objective. Their objective is not to work with Democrats, it's to consume them. Every time you hear the words big tent, think sucker. You're stupid, big tent. Ever had like an ant infestation? Ever have like a mice or infestation? You don't invite more of them in. Oh, this is a big house. It's okay if I have a couple of mice running around. And no, there can be no big tent, especially with an announced enemy. That's the weirdest thing about this. They have announced it. They are telling you, we're going to destroy you. Maybe James Carville is the last standing smart Democrat. Like, hey, listen, I know I've been batshit crazy, but I can actually see what these people are willing to do. But we got to have a big tent.
We're not here to make the Democrats a little bit better. We're here to actually enact socialism. And socialism is not just better capitalism. It's overthrowing the entire capitalist state.
It's our duty, DSA, to cultivate this power.
The cuckoo is in the...
Understanding that was a sitting congresswoman whose salary, I believe, is about $175,000 a year. She's making $175,000 telling these kids that the man's against you. We got to go after the man. Free Palestine. What the hell that means? Because somehow taking over the Democrat Party, destroying America, they think will somehow free Palestine. Whatever Palestine is.
Nest. Not a Democrat, but Zohran Mamdani, an extremist within the DSA.
We understand that winning an election is not an end. It is a means to an end.
So the most important thing that we can do is take that empire down from within.
Take the empire down from within. So as you're hearing this scary stuff with scary music, they're not lying to you. This isn't Freddy, from Jason and all the other bad guys that you could walk away from and not watch the movie. This movie is playing out live in America. And they're telling you, straight up.
Ultimately to overthrow our own empire.
We need a movement that can drive a stake through the heart of the empire.
We need to orient ourselves towards insurrection. We need to orient ourselves towards insurrection. We need to orient ourselves towards insurrection.
What do you think when you hear that word? You think of January 6th, and then you realize now that wasn't an insurrection. These people are actually planning a real insurrection. So we as MAGA have to work extra hard. We have to save America. We have to save the people who don't know what the hell is going on. We have to save the people who aren't paying attention. If you're not on X, you're not on Facebook, you're not seeing this stuff. The media in the tank with these people, and they don't understand. They're like going to be jumping in a pool with piranhas. These people mean business. They are organized. They waited for this. They are committed. They are not quiet about it. What are we? What are we doing? As MAGA, are we watching this movie play out as if we can just go get popcorn when we just want to step away for intermission? There is no intermission. This country is losing battles. This is the first time I ever felt like, the enemy of the enemy is my friend type thing, because the enemy that we have known is now being consumed by an even worse enemy. And what bothers me the most is the age of these people. This is happening in our schools. While we're watching I Love Lucy or some movie, these kids are just sitting at home in front of the computer, watching webinars and being indoctrinated into you don't have anything because they took it all from you. They've been encouraged. Their culture has been built around it. They've been conquered. Think about that for a second. These kids are already prisoners. They're conquered. There's no way out for them. At this point, we can't think about saving them. Let them have their little infamy here while we try to help everybody else. If this virus of insanity is not eradicated, Your country as you know it is done. And I don't even mean by them winning in 2026. God forbid they don't win in 2028. They are just getting started. Just think of that for a second. They don't even have to win in 2026. Now they're just recruiting even more, as I call them, orcs. The more successful they have, the bigger their rallies become. The bigger their rallies become, the more kids they infect. The more kids they infect, the more likelihood that they'll win more elections. This is serious. This is deadly serious. It's not socialism. This is just a stepping stone to full-blown communist. Listen to what these kids say. And I keep saying kids because they're kids.
Excited to have each and every one of you to join us for this important discussion about what socialism is, the history of socialism, and what a socialist revolution could look like in the United States. Because the main thing that we talk to with all members, with the Action Network, and with our communities is how do we actually achieve it?
So you're going to tell me that some wet behind the ears 20-something-year-old kid is going to tell me the history of socialism? Well, they're relating to each other. It's one young guy telling another young guy. And so they fall right for it. They completely fall for it. So now he's introducing, let me tell you the history and what we're going to try and do. You guys got to hang on here. We're going to explain it to you. And then he cuts to this woman.
A foundational step in the socialist reconstruction of society would be the creation of a new constitution. The new socialist...
Stop right there. As you listen to words, I find it important that I stop and let you hear what she just said. She said socialist reconstruction. When do you reconstruct something? After you deconstruct it, after you've destroyed it. So their plan that she's speaking of is assuming already that they've been successful. The little quickness of the words, if you're not listening, reconstruction, how the hell did we get to reconstruction? Oh, we've already destroyed it. We've already deconstructed it. Now we got to make it back the way we want to. How did you skip over that? When did the deconstruction happen so that you can have the reconstruction? Think about that.
Government will take possession of all the existing capitalist banks and create one People's Development Bank.
All right. I got to stop here because she has so many points she has to cover. Even the news isn't covering this. We got to take over all the banks. I don't know how you're going to do that, honey, but they got to take over all the banks and have one central bank that we socialists control. Basically, we're going to take all the money in the entire country and we'll control it in this reconstruction. They got some big ideas, don't even know how they would do it.
Electoral college would be abolished.
All right, so then they're gonna abolish the Electoral College. And ain't gonna happen, but at least they're willing to try, give it the old college try.
The House of Representatives could be replaced with the National People's Assembly that would not only be made up of delegates elected from local election districts, but would also include delegates from the many mass organizations of millions of workers, students, and more.
All right, so now they want to do away with Congress, and we're going to make up this pseudo-Congress that nobody's going to vote for. Notice she said that. She didn't say anything about that. We're going to have this organization and this NGO and all these different people. They'll get together, and these are the people who are going to write the laws. Not you silly people who vote for people. No, we don't need that because we don't have an electoral college anymore. So we're just going to take all the money. We're going to do away with the electoral college. We're going to do away with, Congress, and we're just going to pick people to run the country, like Animal Farm.
And the Senate could be replaced by the Assembly of Oppressed Nations.
I'm sorry. The Senate can be replaced by the Assembly of Oppressed Nations. So Somali people and I don't know, Ugandan people can sit on this board and they're going to take the place of the Senate. Interesting. What about the president?
To correct the historic injustices imposed on the indigenous peoples and the nation and the Black nation. This assembly of oppressed nations will consist of delegates from oppressed nationalities and peoples.
Yes, I know it's crazy. I don't debate that. I'm not putting any credence in what she's saying. I'm not putting it's so far-fetched. We're all like, the hell are you talking about? But it's not for us. That's the part you have to understand. We understand. I don't think you've thought this out, lady. I don't see how you think you're going to stop people, especially people who got weapons, and are going to let this happen. But that's not important. What's important is that's what they think. That's how they're indoctrinating these kids. Here's how we're going to run America. And these kids are like, sounds good to me. This is fantastic. Power to the people. And there's been, I've looked around. There is no such document that says how you're going to get to that point where you're going to make the rest of us just acquiesce. I haven't seen anything how you're going to go into the Department of anything and take weapons, or how are you going to do it? They don't even talk, or at least not in public. That's the part that might be scary.
Reorganization of society, including the transition of society to green technology and renewable energy, will be carried out by the people themselves.
But yeah, it almost spit it out. So we're going to change to a complete green technology. It's going to be carried out by the people. Again, it'll never happen. You and I both will sit here and go, this person's been smoking too much crack. But we're not the audience. The audience is the orcs that they continue to build, that listen to this stuff and just go, yes, without having any idea what the hell they're going to do.
Mass organizations will have a central role in a socialist society. These voluntary-based organizations will be involved in the day-to-day management of the affairs of society. So the reorganization of housing under socialism has to do with the rational distribution of this abundance created by capitalism.
Okay. Did she hear what she just said? Honey, did you even listen to your own crap? So you're going to reorganize houses, and the way we're going to do it is we're going to tear down everything that capitalism built up. Did she dwell on that for a second? The thing that made the abundance of stuff is no longer good. So we're going to tear down the thing you admittedly just said afforded the abundance. So think that back a little bit, honey. If you tear down the thing that made the abundance, how are you going to continue to make more abundance? I don't know. Sounds good.
But is being held hostage by the capitalist class. Now, some in the socialist movement want to distance themselves from the efforts of the hundreds of millions of people in the world, in the global south, to...
What? The hundreds of millions of people in the global south. I haven't read enough to understand that. It's not in any geographic book. The hundreds of millions of people in the global south. I think what she's saying is because there's no borders, everybody is now entitled to our abundance. We're just going to, you're from Haiti? Here's a house. Barry, you don't need your house. Starry, you're not doing any more real estate investing. This is for, Jean-Claude here in Haiti. He now gets your house. It's an abundance for all 100 million people in something called the Global South.
Construct socialism over the past century, since 1917, when the first successful socialist revolution took place. But we in the PSL uphold both the achievements and the lessons of those socialist projects and see our efforts here today in the U.S. as a part of that historical project.
It's funny, I glance over at the comments for a second, and those exact same comments I was telling you about are happening. I don't need to listen to this. I don't want to listen to this. who the hell does she think she is? That's going to be our downfall. I'm just telling you that right now. You're seeing it happen in the biggest city in America. It happened. You see it in Los Angeles with Karen Bass. You saw what they did to Spencer Pratt. It's going to keep happening. They tried to do something in Maine, and the guy got caught because he couldn't keep his weenie out of a camera. They're not stopping. And so for you to say, I don't need to hear this, why am I listening to it? You may be one of the first people to fall to it. When they have their meeting in your hometown, you're like, honey, these socialists are having a meeting downtown. Can you believe that? And then you're going to wake up, they won? Son, you went to that meeting? Oh, yes, yes, Dad. Power to the people. You guys are capitalist boomers. All it takes, I forget who said it. What's the quote? I'm sure somebody will put it in the chat. The only thing it takes for bad people to win is for good people to stay silent. And I'm paraphrasing there, but I'm sure SV or somebody can look up the quote. That's how they win. They win because people don't pay attention. They win, like I said, in New York City, what 7% of the people voted? And they woke up the next day and like, wait a second, you tell me we got socialists in office? Yeah, I didn't want to hear it. How about listening to this crap? Too late.
It's easy to condemn, but they made revolution and reorganized society on a socialist basis and have taken on all of the challenges that come with the reorganization of the political and economic system. The socialist government would move to shut down the over 800 U.S. military bases across the world.
Like I said, they can't do it, but you can't give them a hard time for trying and talking about it. We're going to do away with the military. We're going to do away with the budget, and we're going to shut down all the bases. And America will not be protected. And you have to think to yourself, honey, is there any other country in the world that doesn't have some sort of defense? And you're saying America needs to drop their pants, bend over, and take it? Essentially, that's what you're saying. You're saying that we shouldn't have any military anywhere in the world and no defense budget. So at that point, we're just sitting ducks, I don't know, to Iran? Can you imagine where we'd be today if we didn't have a military and Iran and China and whoever else are sitting there? Look at this. Look at these people here. They've got no defense. They got no submarines. They have no nuclear weapons. Let's just go over and plant a flag and tell them to start eating, whatever you want to make them eat. I just want to keep saying they don't have any capacity to do what they say. The danger is them convincing people that they can't do it or convincing people that there's no way. And all you've got to do is see how this is spreading across the country.
We would bring the troops home and the U.S. would be denuclearized.
Somebody else said in the chat, why do these people all look foreign? Yep, there you go. That's the next thing. What? These people are from obviously not here, and they're spreading their poison here. We've allowed them to spread their poison here. And now they're talking about the complete denuclearization of the American superpower. Nope, no weapons, no military bases, no nukes. What are you going to do with them, honey?
A wave of revolutions would likely take place in the world if people win socialism here in the U.S. Socialist projects can actually advance beyond the first stage. So socialist reconstruction in the U.S. is not only possible, but it's a historic responsibility to ourselves and the people of the world. Thank you so much.
There's not many things that leave me speechless other than the unintelligible blabber pablum, as James Carville said, of these young people who have no idea. She's making a webinar. Just understand what she's doing. She's having a webinar. She's talking into a camera. She has a microphone. She has lights on behind her, all of which would probably go away in a socialist communist regime. How do we know? Ask Cuba. They don't even understand. Look at what you have. You have clothes that were made of probably of polyester. You don't look like you've missed a meal. You're probably sitting in air conditioning and you're saying this crazy stuff to poison other kids. It's absolutely crazy. Talk to the people in Cuba. Talk to the people most recently in Venezuela. Ask them, hey, how is it now that Maduro's gone? Wow, this is pretty good. This is pretty good how we're living now. Find out about the old Soviet Union, the poverty, the tyranny, the misery, the death. That's what they want. But they want it for us because they want to take our stuff. They want to replace free markets with government control. By the way, how are those grocery stores in New York doing, Mandami? Oh, that's right. They're not open for another year. It's taking you a year to open one grocery store. Capitalists, we could have a grocery store open in a couple months or less. Our Constitution provides us with the opportunity and freedom to do things wherever we want. In their new order, they're not going to allow it. Not on their watch. So you guys have to understand, us boomers, we've lived through so much. You know, we may be conservatives, we may be MAGA supporters, but one thing we're not is stupid. Because we have history to count on. We understand what the Cold War was about. We know what went through Russia with Lenin. We understand how communist with Mao was. We understand. These people woke out of a COVID dream and have no idea that there was life before that. That's their biggest problem. I think these kids grew up in a cocoon. I think they just stood there and couldn't go outside and had to play inside of bubbles and had no idea what life was really like. And they realized, you know what? This isn't so bad. We get to stay home. Mom and Dad stay home. The food kept coming. It came from this little thing, this card called SNAP. Everything was paid for. The electricity was always on because the electricity wouldn't get turned off because, you know, they had rules back then during COVID. So why don't we just do that all the time? Never turn off the electricity. Oh, by the way, we couldn't get evicted because there was a moratorium on evictions, so you didn't have to pay rent. This is what I believe all this comes from. A group of kids who lived in the free era. Just sat home, watched television. Cable didn't go off. The lights didn't go off. The air conditioning didn't go off. Food was free. Medicaid was free. Didn't have to use a bus pass because you couldn't go anywhere, couldn't go to work because they shut everything down. And they lived and learned, why don't we just do this all the time? Why do you need a Bentley? Why do you need that big house? Everybody could just sit home and suck off the government. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Fox News has obtained documents from the Democratic Socialists of America revealing the group's updated platform, which is even more radical than before. Now, they plan to release this next week. Listen to this. The United States Senate eliminated, gone. The president and the Supreme Court replaced. The Department of War defunded. All immigrants given amnesty. That is the plan. Now, who is driving this machine? Well, they say it's the people. But a new survey shows those people overwhelmingly identify as anarchists and Marxists. Yet the media is running cover for the group.
Before she gets to the media, now we're finding out who these people really are. They're not just commies. They're not just socialists. They're anarchists. They want to burn it down. They've completely lost. They're completely hopeless. Nothing means anything to them. Let's just burn it all down. We're anarchists. How can you have a movement built up with people who don't want anything to survive? They're the locust of people. Locusts, they just come in and eat and tear things apart.
The Washington Post is claiming Republicans are falsely labeling them as communist. And other members in the media are mocking the idea of the Red Scare.
One of the things I've found very interesting is this pivot the president has made to communism, coming after the commies.
This is, you know, what's funny? They're out. The media is now running cover for the same kids who say they're commies, and they're trying to gaslight people into Trump's calling them commies. No, they're calling themselves commies. And then you have to step back and say, well, why would you be running cover for them? If they are self-professed, if they go on Zoom calls and say, we want the insurrection of America, we want communism, that's our end goal, why would our media be covering for them? Who are they trying to influence otherwise? To me, I think they're trying to put a lot of America into a sleeper hold. You've seen those things in wrestling where they do it and the person just goes to sleep. Oh, there's nothing to worry about? Oh, okay, they don't want communism? It's no Red Scare? Oh, no worries, just go to sleep. Just go to sleep. Then you have to wonder, what do they get out of it?
Not gulag socialism. This is not the Soviet Union socialism.
Socialism, much less democratic socialism, is not communism.
How do you know? What the hell? Caitlin, I'm sorry, but we know you've lived a nice, cushy life inside of a studio reading a teleprompter. And you're telling us that what they told us isn't true. Not Trump, not Barry, themselves. It's not the same thing. It's completely different. It's like tomato. You guys don't understand. Why? Why would the media be making this kind of effort?
But if those journalists, so-called, spent the same amount of time covering the DSA as they did a pool that nobody swims in, they would find a web of caucuses within the group that explicitly push communism. Now, the Marxist Unity Group, for example, says they are rallying thousands of Marxists in the DSA around a shared vision of the future. And they plan to achieve that future by adopting what they call a minimum-maximum program. Quote, the minimum program refers to the party's comprehensive platform, the policies that it will immediately implement upon taking power, and the maximum program refers to the results of this process, a world free of the market, borders, classes, and all other oppressive structures that exist under capitalism.
I want you to read that. The maximum program refers to the results of this process, a world free of the market, free of borders, free of classes, not talking about school classes, talking about rich and poor, and free of all other oppressive structures that exist under capitalism, and from their own website, in a word, communism. So if they're calling themselves communism, if they're printing documents that say we want communism, you have to step back and say, what kind of gaslighting, MK Ultra movement is the media doing at this point to make sure that their audiences don't recognize that it's really communism? What are they afraid of? Who's paying them to say, shh, don't let anybody know what they're really saying? If I was Caitlin Collins, I'm like, I have video where they're saying, don't talk about that. Just tell everybody it's like commie light. You'll like this kind. It's not the same as Soviet Union. This is the warmth of collectivity, or whatever he said. And they make it sound so well. We're all gonna feast together. We're gonna have a Thanksgiving where you get a little piece of turkey and you get a little piece of turkey, and nobody gets the whole drumstick. That wouldn't work here.
In a word, communism. They also proudly put on their website that they want to overthrow our Constitution.
Sounds insurrection-y to me. Sounds treasonous to me. I think the one reason why these people haven't been scooped up is because the other side of the coin is means. You know, I can stand on the corner and say I want to overthrow the government, but it's Barry standing there on a box. He can't do anything right now. But as I'm winning elections and this virus continues to grow, then it becomes truly insurrection-y.
Another faction is a revolutionary Marxist caucus called Reform and Revolution. They draw influence from communist leaders like Karl Marx, Vladimir Lenin, and Leon Trotsky. And on their website, they promise the Communist Manifesto, which they promote. There also is the Liberation Caucus. They push Mao.
You know what I find funny is I'll cover it tomorrow, the next thing that Nick Shirley has exposed. And when you see what Nick Shirley does, you think to yourself, there's really no reporters anymore, are there? The reporter is the person who inputs the text into the teleprompter. They make too much money putting on makeup and hanging out in the studio. Nobody's doing any reporting anymore. They just make shit up, excuse my language. And so you got Nick Shirley going into these cities and he's finding this and he's finding that. And he's like, hey, look. And so what Kaylee is saying here is she's like, if all you have to do is look the stuff on their website, they're not hiding it. But yet the people at MS Now and CNN are pretending, though, there's nothing to see here. How stupid is their audience? And how bad is it that they know how stupid their audience is? Hey, if we just keep feeding these people BS, we'll still get paid, we'll still make our money, and we'll keep these people in the dark until it's too late. It's incredible when you sit back and think about it. Well, it's devious. It's completely devious.
I'm saying this, Comrade Mao's call to combat liberalism must be heeded and taken seriously. Otherwise, opportunist and revisionist trends will arise and rot the soul of the organization. And they go on to say we are unequivocally anti-imperialist. Communists in the imperial core have as our main duty the destruction of...
This stuff is everywhere. It is malpractice for Caitlin Collins and some of these people on these networks to pretend as though it's not what they think it is, when they know damn well these people are trying to install communism into the country. You watching this, and I hope I'm showing this to you and that you're seeing it yourself now, and you're realizing it's probably worse than you imagined. That's the worst part about this. It's worse than we even thought. We knew Mandami was a little commie guy, and we thought it was just him or AOC or Rashida Tlaib, and this thing has grown like a fungus in the South Florida humidity, and it just keeps growing. And it's going to continue to grow until we stomp it out. And looking away and pretending it's no big deal, that you got CNN for that. You could be watching CNN right now and probably watch some show where they're like, it's not that bad. Let's talk about the pool. I don't give a crap about the pool. I don't care about the fireworks. These people want to destroy my way of life, my wife's way of life, my daughters, my grandkids, your daughter, your granddaughters, your wife, your business. It's incumbent upon us to pay attention.
Of the imperialist system. And finally, there's also the Red Star Caucus, which describes itself as the Marxist-Leninist faction of the Democratic Socialists of America.
So we have people in our country who are following Marxism and everything that Lenin did in the DSA. This is beyond the pale.
Their stated goal to abolish capitalism and ultimately to achieve communism.
So I don't even know thus far how many things she's just read. And she's not even covering it all. So between all the video and all the documentation, how the hell can anybody sit back and think this is some innocent group of kids? You remember the 60s, the love child. They're all out there screwing in the fields and, smoking their dope and taking LSD. They're harmless. Really? See, most of the stuff I just mentioned about the people back then, the flower child, these people aren't procreating. They're not even like humping in the grass. They don't like each other for that kind of stuff. They're sexless. Many of them, believe it or not, don't do drugs other than smoke pot. They're committed to what they need to do. Their religion is communism.
They go on to say they are striving to weaken and ultimately dismantle the U.S. empire. Red Star also notes that nearly half of the DSA's National Political Committee identifies as communist. That's what's hiding inside the belly of the beast. In their own words, we just showed you communism. Now listen to how some of their members speak about America.
U.S. imperialism is not a thing that can be reformed away. It has to be.
Some of you are probably going to see this and go, is it? I can't tell you. I have no idea. If you put a gun to my head, I don't know.
Overthrown through revolutionary struggle.
To build a mass movement that can use.
This one either. I don't know. Like I said, this isn't like the summer of love. These people don't want love like you and I probably used to know it. They talk about being mixed up.
It's the leverage of workers to hit the kill switch on American imperialism here.
So when do Democrats and members of the media start calling them out for this rhetoric? After the DSA takes their voters and builds their own rival party?
I don't know. But we're seeing a lot of mixed up kids with a lot of mixed up lifestyles who are falling prey to these communists who are trying to steer the ship. The Mandamis of the world, the Hassan Pikers of the world. They know exactly what they're doing. They're very fluid in terms of their speaking. They know exactly what to say to these people. And they had to find an enemy. And if you notice, and this is something else you can begin focusing on, if you see some of the stuff that they talk about, they don't talk that much about Trump. See, the Democrats focused on Trump. They focused on MAGA. These people, the enemy is America. Doesn't matter who it is, Democrat, Republican, they don't care. We need to take down the empire. They didn't say we need to take down MAGA. We don't need to take down Trump. We need to do away with America. Again, going back to the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Soon, Democrats like Fetterman and others are going to have to realize, and like James Carville, like, wait a second, we've got to do something about these idiots over here, and we may have to come together at some point to defeat these people who want to destroy not Trump, not MAGA, not boomers. When your enemy is America and you state that's your enemy, I think there's a lot of commonality. There's a lot of common ground for us to come together and say, hey, I think we need to do something here. I'm not down with this. I do not want to see my country go down because I hate Trump. I loathe Trump. I can't stand him. But I kind of like America. And that's like the defining thing. And our government has got to do something. People like Mike Johnson and Do Nothing John Thune, is because this is going to be problematic.
And I tell you, they've shown that there really is a lack of principle in the Democrat Party now. This is not our fathers' or grandfathers' Democratic Party. They're going full communist now. The DSA of America, the Democratic Socialists of America, put out their platform in the last several days, and it is incredible stuff. They don't want any borders, Tony. They want no prisons. They want to eradicate the Supreme Court, remove the presidency. They want the Congress to control everything because they intend to take it over. This is the time for all Americans, all patriots, people who are freedom-loving folks to stand up. The barbarians are inside the gates, and this fall election is going to be decisive for the future of this country.
You know, one of the problems, I like Mike Johnson, but one of the problems I'm having with people like Mike Johnson is it's your frickin' job. If you know it and we know it, then you should be doing something. John Thune, if you see it, we all see it. You guys are there to do something. It is specifically your job that you swear to uphold the Constitution and defend America from enemies, foreign and domestic. So stop with the videos. You've got enough evidence. You know who these people are. They want to take down this country. You swore an oath to every single one of us, not some, not all of us, that you would defend us from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And by your own admission, they're already here, which means you guys have failed us. Don't make it come to us. You guys know what'll happen if it comes to your doorstep. You know what you're going to do. You're not going to sit back and have another meeting, another hearing. You're going to defend what's yours. And if that happens, it will be bloody, it will be dangerous, it will be violent, and it will be his fault. I like Mike Johnson, but if he was sitting in front of me, I would tell him, you better do something, because these good people, even people here in our chat, they are not going to stand for it. It's all nice and funny and fluffy right now with their little webinars, but when they come to your front porch and decide to tell you, you got to get out your house or you need to give me your wife's jewelry, what do you think's going to happen? I don't want to see us descend to that perspective where we're watching people take things into their own hands, but it will get there if our people in government don't do something. Enough with the hearings, enough with the getting on television and saying, we got to do something. That's what you're there for. Because one thing I can count on, one thing I'm sure you can count on, if it gets to the point where good Americans have to do something, we're going to do it. You and me will do what's necessary because these people are failing us. God help us, it gets to that point. And the one thing you better be doing right now is loading up. Yeah, for sure. Where's SV? Yeah.
Oh, I was sorry. I was dozing off, Barry. Before I get into my stories, you know the James Carvell clip you had at the very beginning of the show. We had a hot mic item come up at the end of it.
Was he doing this and pour
That was a lot of bottles I heard clinking. So I don't know.
Man, there was a whole lot of bottles there. I gotta tell you something. I had to apologize to Ashley over the weekend. Well, we're in the weekend. And I'm going to say this to every man and woman out here who has children. It's been a long time since I had a child. I've got a 17-year-old grandchild here, and I it's a sock, but I had to wave the white flag. I was like,
really? Is that rough, man? Really? Look at your face. Oh, whoa.
I was like,
he was running circles around you. Huh?
I called Ashley, like, how do you do it? I don't know. How did you raise these 3 kids? How did you have a life? Hey, I need to go here. Oh, I'm hungry. I'm hungry again. You're hungry. Okay, like, we need to go here. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
And it was so funny because, he flew down here. He's got his driver's license, but I ain't letting him drive my car or Robin's car. And so I told Ashley, I got to buy him a car. And she's like, don't you dare buy him a car. And I'm like, so the first 2 days I was like, okay, I'll make do. And then like the third and fourth day, and I'm driving hours at a time, 30 minutes to this field, 30 minutes to the gym, going over here like, I can't do it. I'm looking at the time at this point. I've had to do shorter shows because I'm like, hey guys, I got to run. And literally the last couple of days I've been turning off and like bolting to wherever we had to go to. And I'm like, I can't do it. I can't. You know what? When you and I grew up, it was funny.
One grandchild too, huh?
Yeah. When you and I grew up, I'm assuming it was like that. You could go to like some lot somewhere and somebody had a car in a yard for like $400 or $500 and you had a car. I mean, my first car was a Chevy Malibu that some cop had and he sold it to me for $100. I drove that car till the wheels fell off. And now those cars, those deals don't exist anymore. Like, hey man, can I pick up a car for a couple $100? I'm like, no. And then of course you got to do the insurance because he's under 18. And I'm like, oh God, anything now. I got
cheaper to get an Uber, Barry.
Hey, I'm turning into Maxine Waters. I don't have I don't have the hair like she does, but I'm reclaiming my time. I'm
claiming my time.
I'll tell you, next week or so, probably by Tuesday, after I get him a car, I get back into the schedule where I'm not having to run through something. I'm like, whew. And he's like, I got to the gym. I got to go to the field. You go. You go.
USA.
But I want to salute everybody who's raised young teenagers because, wow. It's been a long
All right.
time.
Well, I have a couple stories for you. I mean, some of them are kind of an hour old now, but the first one I want to bring up at the bottom, Mike Lee. Do you know him on X? He came up. Trump actually posted this poll. It's a poll. It says, which would you rather have the Senate consider when it comes back? Check it out. It's a 97% to 2%. Well, it's now a little bit lower. I have seen 96.9 on mine.
I just voted, so it's 96.99.
There you go. But anyway, so he's putting the pressure on when they come back from their time away to get this crap done. But check it out, 97%. I mean, get it done. Let's go.
One of the problems I have with Thune and Mike Johnson and everybody is you can't point fingers at the Democrats until you tell us what the hell is going on with Mitch McConnell. Because at this point, you're doing the exact same thing they did with Biden. There's no difference right now between the Democrat and Republican Party with McConnell and what they did with Biden. In fact, the Republican Party is worse because the dude could be dead. Nobody's seen him.
Well, listen, so Scott Jennings, I love the dude. I thought, like, he said he had a 20-minute call with him a few days ago. What is that? That wasn't real, was it?
I don't know if it was a calm or something, if he was telling somebody make the move, and he hasn't spoken about it since after that. It's so bad. I don't know if you guys know this, that CNN had to come out and make a statement about it. Did you see that?
No, that I did not see.
Yeah, see. Let me see if I can find it. That was CNN statement.
So what were they trying to say? That he's still alive? Like they got him like weekend at
No, basically their statement was, we don't got nothing to do with this. And I'm like, I found it. Here it is. Here's the statement that CNN made. They actually put out a press release. Here is the press release. It says, as a CNN political commentator, Scott Jennings is not a full-time employee, nor is he a journalist for the network. His account of a personal conversation with Senator McConnell reflects his experience and is not CNN reporting.
When does anybody do reporting? That's my question. I mean, Nick Shirley's the only person. Apparently, you're going to bring that up tomorrow. But
yeah,
holy crap!
How did they? It was so bad you had to put that statement out, and by putting that statement out, it actually makes it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got nothing. We got nothing to do with this. We don't know nothing. Don't bother us. And they called him out. He's not a journalist or an employee. Well,
I want to see the phone records, man. Somebody show me something. Let me see a video, like a Zoom call where he's being held up by somebody behind him. Like, yeah, I'm here, man. I'm still here.
But why are the Republicans not calling that out?
Something nefarious is definitely going on. I mean, I don't know. And I heard like the wife apparently deleted social media and she left the country or something.
That was wait, no, you got them both together. The daughter, I think it's the daughter deleted social media. The wife left the country and said, I had a prior engagement. Who in their mind leaves their spouse in a comatose situation?
Ding, 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 ding.
I got to go to a meeting. He's not present anyway, so he won't know. It's just, and then they've got reporters that are camped out at his house, and there's pictures of the ambulance. All of that should just go away. At this point, they should just say, "Here's what's going on," because now they look as bad as the other side, and it's crazy.
Speaking about the reporter thing, if you want to skip the Nick Shirley one above, right above that, Eric Doherty, it's the one I thought it was interesting.
No, I like this one too. Yeah. I mean, because,
good.
He's out there. I'm going to show you guys this tomorrow. He's out there finding all kinds of fraud that he's just one guy. I mean, he may have a little bit money now because he's done some stuff. And I know Elon, pumped 100,000 into him, but he's still not CNN. He's still not Fox. He's one guy flying to some place and going through databases. You got the Data Republican working with him too. And between his small network, when I say small, comparatively to the CNNs and Fox and New York Times and all that, very, very small network, he's exposing hundreds of, possibly billions of dollars of fraud.
Yeah, this one is 200 million in this case. It's just one. It's a New York adult daycare. So does anybody want me to read this and tell folks what happened here? So this is a new one. This is different from the stuff that's going on in Minnesota and California.
Wait a second. That was
Nick Shirley. The one that you had up.
That one? Oh, I think you said to go to Eric Doherty.
We'll do that one next. Yeah.
Okay, so go back to him.
To Nick Shirley, if you would. Yeah.
Okay.
So apparently, the daycare is funded by Medicaid, and the more patients equal more money. Patients receive kickbacks for attending the daycare and bringing friends referral programs. So our taxes are being paid for elderly Asians to play ping pong and Tai Chi. So, I mean, yeah, down below, there's a video showing the full 53 minutes, showing how he went up to talk to him. And they were like, yeah, we're doing that. It's all legit, but it's not legit. 200 million in fraud, just this one place. So every state has fraud. And
I posted earlier, it's like, at some point, why are we paying taxes? Why? It's the biggest scam going. Everybody is stealing. I mean, gotta believe it's on both sides of the aisle at this point, and people are just stealing and getting away with it.
Yeah, if you stop the money, stop it just for like a month and see what happens. I mean, the protesters would be, where we go? What do we do?
It's insane. And again, you don't. I think I posted. You don't hear anybody on the left talking about fraud at all. It's like a fraud is a bad word that they're not allowed to speak. Which I gotta believe that's because they're all in on it. I think they're all dipping their beak per se.
Absolutely. All right, the last story was above.
But tell me about this one. But you got to be careful as you read it, because I was going to dig into this.
Oh,
but you know where I'm going. All right.
Yes, I do.
So what is
this? So, and I looked up on Grok. Apparently, some of these displays were actually being displayed back in 2019 through 2024. So they've been like hidden or kind of like behind stuff. So they were during when Trump was first elected. So somehow they maybe had something covering it when somebody would come in. But let me read it. So the Trump White House has just caught the Smithsonian Museum with shocking LGBTQ and transformer displays, even geared towards children. They found a little girl's diary wishing she grew a, and identifying as a boy. 2, a photo of a transformer skateboarder's chest binder device used to make herself appear more like a man while skateboarding. Okay, that's the first. I never heard of that one. An exhibit.
Here's a word for that: strap down. It was a strap down.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm trying to stay away from that.
A large, tight ace bandage.
Barry, I hope I can get through this story. An exhibit featuring images of drag queens and half-nude women and a rubber crotch harness used for something I can't even say on air, and even more anti-American exhibit. So,
how bad it. Let me show you how bad it is. It's so bad I can't even get in trouble because it's so bad. Even X says no. We can't. Right. We can't show this stuff here. No, sorry. That's how bad it is. The stuff they're showing in a museum being funded by your tax dollars. That even on X, you can't click a button.
And I know we're laughing about, folks. We're not laughing because it's just laughing at the absurdity of it. I mean, somehow we got to get rid of all this crap and it's still going on in schools. I see occasionally stories where the local school boards some of this stuff is being permitted. I mean, it's crazy. I'm sorry, but I am gonna make you laugh. I'm gonna make you laugh
because
right.
this is how bad it is. So I clicked the button that says show it. I'm like, okay, what am I about to see? Am I going to see Rosie O'Donnell naked or something? So I clicked the button.
Can you show it?
Oh, you can show it because they censored Fox News.
What?
They can't. The news report, which I am now going to have to download, the news report is so bad they couldn't show the news report. So just
because it actually shows the exhibits, and some of them are like phallic symbols and stuff. So that's probably why. I guess.
I'm clicking through. Oh yeah, I'm clicking through it right now. Oh yeah,
you can't show that part.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. They can't even. That's how bad it is. But they want kids to see it.
Make it make sense. All right. So the last one I had was the story from Eric. This was a little over an hour ago. So this one, the one about the leaker concerning the Air Force One. It's right above the.
I'm sorry. I went up to OS INT Defender.
It's right below that. Should be right below it.
Yep, I got the wait, hold on. That was the Smithsonian one. Where's the one you're talking about? What's it about?
It's about Kash Patel. There's now he's involved in trying to find the leaker. So my thing is get rid of all press on the Air Force One. Don't allow them on there, you know? Anyway, President Trump now has Kash Patel involved in the investigation to find the leaker behind New York Times report that 47 switched Air Force One planes in Turkey because of a security threat. So they're saying the fake news is panicking right now. Subpoenas were sent out. Investigation is surging, and the leakers are trembling. And as you know, as we all know, leaking sensitive security information regarding the president while he's overseas, literally bordering a country we're involved with conflict against, is not only betrayal, it's treason. So I hope they find who it is, make an example of him. But I mean, get rid. All those press gaggles he has on there. Like, why does he have to have the press on Air Force One?
I don't know if it's just tradition or something. I don't know what makes them have to do it. Like I remember when they were holding the press conferences, they kicked somebody out, and he actually sued to get back in, and the judges let him get back in. So the alternative is just not to have press conferences, and that they didn't have any. I don't think they even had a press conference the last 2 weeks. You know, so I thought Caroline Leavitt was going to be back to work last week, and they had nothing. But then again, he was traveling to Europe and everything. The week before was the 4th of July, which there was so much activity, and then last week he was in Europe. So let's see if it kind of gets back to normal this week. Possibly. We shall see. I'm not really sure.
Well, that's all the news that's fit to print. I'll use their logo.
There's a couple of things that you have in here that might be interesting.
Oh, the OSINT Defender one?
Well, you got the OSINT Defender. What is this? Okay. What is it? Are they saber rattling again?
Well, apparently, I think they were trying to have a meeting to figure stuff out, but nothing was agreed upon. So that's what I think what did he say? He says that was. Well, actually, there's a new one here. There's a new one at the top, actually, 6 minutes ago that probably supersedes all this. Let me send that to you.
Let me get to 6 minutes. I got it.
Okay.
6 minutes ago, the one with the map.
Yes. So apparently, the IRGC says the hell with it. It says they have announced the temporary closure of the Strait of Hormuz and the IRGC firing a commercial vessel. So now we can expect more U.S. retaliatory strikes in the coming hours and days. You know, Barry, at this point, I'm like Sandlot. You know, I mean,
they don't seem to understand. Well, I've got like 4 different stories that President Trump put out. Which kind of coincide with that. So let me go ahead and show those.
Okay.
Right?
Before you go, there was a story. I have to go locate it to get it to you. But apparently they said that that Iran is back to trying to work on their nuclear.
Facilities. I heard that in hiding.
So they're not going to learn. They're not. No. They're not going to learn. What do you do to people who don't learn?
Poof.
Destroy
them.
All right.
Thank you.
Social. You're welcome.
Well, I'm gonna go to commercial first, then I'll come back and do that.
Okay.
All right, everybody. I will be back in about 2 minutes. One of today's sponsors is LTV Hydration. You know, if you're like me, a little bit older, you're getting to that age where you're tired all the time. Sometimes you're bloated after a meal, and no amount of water seems to help. But listen up here. A few weeks ago, after, I had an issue with water retention. I called this guy, my friend of mine, Dr. Josh, a practicing doctor with over 25 years of experience. His answer shocked me. It shocked Robin. He said I was showing all the classic signs of a dehydrated liver. Not the kind of that more water fit. Your liver is your body's main hydration organ. If your liver cells aren't hydrated at the cellular level, the water you drink just runs right through you, which means you pee all night long. And that's sometimes why you can feel drained during the day, you can feel bloated, and you feel older than you should. You're real sluggish. Yeah, regular electrolyte drinks don't help this. They don't solve it. That's why Dr. Josh created LTV, a daily hydration drink designed for real cellular hydration and liver support. It combines clinical dose marine electrolytes and taurine to help your body and your cells hold water, plus milk thistle and dandelion root to support your liver's natural detox. I've been drinking it every morning, and the results have been incredible. In fact, sometimes I take two. I don't know if I'm supposed to, but it just really helps. No more bloating. No more afternoon crashes. You see me. Sometimes I do 2 shows. I finally feel properly hydrated, lighter, alert, full of real energy. If you're ready to feel the difference, go to drinkltv.com/Barry right now. And Dr. Josh is running a special offer of up to 64% off, but only for the Fanfare community. And you got to do it through the link in the description below. Click the link and give your liver the hydration it's been missing. Be back in 90 seconds.
Welcome back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
All right, before I get to the next segment, I want to run by a couple things that President Trump has posted in the last, what time is it? In the last 2 hours or so. So he posted this at 4:55 p.m. Says, I would often say in speeches and otherwise, America will never be a socialist country, and I was 100% correct. The Democrats skipped socialism and went all the way down to communism. America will never be a communist country, President Donald J. Trump. And I'm sure, as you heard, the media has a problem with that, with him saying that it's a communist ideology where the Democrats are going. He followed that up with this post. This was at 5:54, so it was, I guess, a little bit earlier. With only bad press and fake news, I won the presidential election in a landslide. Therefore, the media has no credibility, which we are now seeing firsthand. If it did, that historic win would not have been possible. I want them to gain the respect which they have so sadly lost and help make America great again. Wouldn't it be so nice if the media actually did promote America and actually reported news, not propaganda, didn't take one side or the other, and just reported the facts? Yeah, we are in a post-truth era right now where the media will say anything. I mean, literally, I saw somebody today post on X that X has become a living, breathing persona of what the National Enquirer used to be. People will lie with impunity. They will say whatever they possibly hope will get people to click. It's incredible. Further, President Trump, after that, talking about the media, this one is like extremely long. I don't want to read it all because we'll be here like forever, but it's incredible. I win the election in a landslide against the entire Democrat Party in almost 100% negative news. I won 86% of the counties in America, 2750 to 525. Won the Electoral College, 312 to 226, was the first Republican in decades to win the popular vote, and decisively won all 7 swing states. All 50 states shifted toward the Republican Party for the first time, and I had to run against not one candidate, but 2. Sleepy Joe and Kamala, which has never happened before. I'm still reading the same sentence. Never happened before, against almost 100% negative press and fake news. All of them willing to do anything so that I could lose. And yet, especially Maggot Hagerman. And he's talking about Maggie Hagerman from the New York Times, one of the most unattractive people in the news business, and her lightweight assistant, Jonathan Swan, and the failing New York Times itself, which spends all of its energy on negative stories about me. All I do is win, often against all odds, but after the election success, there's no, gee, he won, he did a great job. There's no saying maybe we were wrong about him, the people were right, or maybe. And he just goes on in a very, very, very long post to go after the media and how they've been talking. And what's interesting is he comes back down here and goes, they are basically turning into communist news networks. They are going communist because they are a desperately sinking ship, and there's not a thing they can do about it. Instead of writing inaccurate, false articles for over 10 years, should it be the time they say, we give up, we can't beat them, there's nothing we can do? He's absolutely right. For 10 years now, they've just been making stuff up. And, you know, what's the thing? If you do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, it's insanity. These people should realize nothing is working. And the reason nothing's working, because the alternative is communism. There is no Democrat Party. They have nothing to talk about. So why would you still promote that stuff? This one was, again, about Maggie. He hammered her again. Maggot Hagerman has covered me incorrectly for 10 years. Her book is a joke. 90% of it is fake news. She has made a living off her bad reporting and will pay the price when our multi-billion-dollar lawsuit against the failing New York Times gets to court. It seems like they don't care. They keep losing to him, and then the Democrats complain because he sued them. And they keep saying that he's going after their freedom of speech when you just can't lie about people. It's amazing. That's another long one as well. And I can say this one here myself. I'm going to be driving up there, but the Palm Beach International Airport is now Donald J. Trump International Airport. And that's right off the exit. I believe that's probably I-95. And all the signs, everything you see now says Donald J. Trump International Airport, which is pretty awesome. So SV told me, hey, you got to go do one of those man on the street things and go out there and make a video. So I think I'll do that. Let's see. Do I have one more here? This one's important. It dovetails into what we were talking about Iran. 1,000 missiles are locked and loaded and aimed at the Islamic Republic of Iran, with thousands of more to immediately follow should the Iranian government act on its threat, pronounced in many corners of the globe, to assassinate or attempt to assassinate the sitting president of the United States of America. In this case, me. Orders have already been given, and the U.S. military is ready, willing, and able for a 1-year period of time, subject to extension, to completely decimate and destroy all areas of Iran. And then he just goes off on them. Praise be to Allah. Wow. Wow. And you know that just ticks them off when he says that stuff. And then the earliest one he posted was this. Says, I would often say in speeches and otherwise, America will never be a socialist country, and I was correct. The Democrats skipped it all. America will never be a communist country. So he's reiterating it. And then I believe I saw a new one, and yes, I did. Here's the newest one that was literally, when was this? No, is this new? Hold on one second. Let me find the newest post that he made, because he's been prolific. He 1 second. Let me scroll down to it. Well, he's posted a whole lot in the last 35 minutes, mostly like videos of stuff and everything. But this was what he posted an hour ago. The horrible front of the White House, and it's been like that for years. The condition is deplorable, just like our country was when I inherited from Sleepy Joe Biden. The radical left Democrats criticize me for spending so much time bringing our White House back to the glory of 100 years ago. Actually, it will be far better than that, and they will not shame us for bringing our great and brilliant monuments to the past and the future back to levels never seen before. This is what we are doing all over Washington, D.C., and if you haven't been to Washington lately, it is looking really good. Believe it or not, these pictures were of the main entrance in a short period of time. It will be a symbol of extraordinary beauty and pride, President Donald J. Trump. So that's what he's been posting for most of the day. And it was interesting that today he was cleared his schedule and there was nothing happening. So anyway, that's where we are. We're caught up with him. If I were Iran, I'd be really, really concerned right about now that he's ready to bomb the crap out of them. All right, so I want to get into this next segment because, you know, SV was reading the stuff about the Smithsonian. This one we touched on last week, but it's gotten a little bit more news attached to it. When the illegal who did some bad stuff to a little girl who was 10 years old was pardoned. Now we have more information about that guy.
Hi, Harris. Well, the Trump administration is accusing Governor Tim Walz of putting this convicted child sex offender ahead of public safety after a board that he sits on voted him clemency. So back in 2006, Tao Li Vang right here is a Laotian national. He was convicted of repeatedly sexually assaulting a 10-year-old girl in Minnesota. Court records, they're too graphic for me to say on air, but the abuse spanned about 2 years from the time the victim was just 10 until she was 12 years old. Vang was 18 when the assault started. Investigators say he met the young girl through her older sister, who he later married. Now, according to court documents, Vang admitted to having sex with the child, telling investigators, quote, I made a mistake, but this is a minor thing. It's a cultural thing in Thailand to marry and have sex with girls as young as 12.
It's a mistake. It just happened to, you know, come out my pants, and she was there, and, you know, we did the bop, and, yeah, I'm sorry, that's just what we do where I come from. Well, then maybe you shouldn't be here. Maybe that is reason number one why you should get the hell out of here. Actually, I wouldn't deport you. Nope, I'd just set you loose somewhere and let everybody know what you did. I think that would be more apt to have justice delivered, but nonetheless.
The victim told police he offered to pay her $10 to keep her quiet.
All right, so I cut that short because I've shown that before, but now you've been brought, your mind has been refreshed. So let me show you, Jonathan Turley wrote an article, and it said it's a constitutional thing as Marco Rubio deports convicted bad guy protected by Walz in Minnesota Pardon Board. And I want you to hear, before we go through this article a little bit and look at this, I want you to hear the brazen way in which Tim Walz defended this guy.
Mr. Vang's case, I would state this, that I can find no reason how Minnesota will be safer or better if
you're going to let this guy out of jail because you don't know how Minnesota or America could be better served by this guy staying in jail. Are you kidding me? Are you that beholden to illegals that we can't keep him in jail? That would be too bad. I don't see how that would serve any justice for the 10-year-old little girl.
Mr. Vang is deported to a country he has not been to since he was a child.
Fox 9 reports Vang's victim wrote a letter to the board forgiving him, and they say that was a key factor in their move to pardon Vang.
Think about that. So I don't know how old she is now, but she's like, I forgive him. I can forgive a lot of people for things they've done to me in my life. Doesn't mean I want to absolve them. Doesn't mean this person gets to walk free, but that's what Tim Walz did. Tim Walz let this dude come out of jail scot-free and walk around so that he wouldn't get deported. That has to be one of the most heinous things I've heard. And as Jonathan Turley had written here, he goes, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz failed in his extraordinary effort to protect a Laotian bad guy from deportation. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has confirmed that he revoked Tulu Vang's legal status, and they took him already. He's gone. After repeatedly doing stuff to a 10-year-old girl between 2010 and 2004, Vang insisted it was a cultural thing. Well, this is a constitutional thing, that the Secretary of State, not the governor of Minnesota, determines who may remain in this country after such a serious offense. He was convicted in 2006 of first-degree criminal essay conduct. An immigration judge issued him a final order of removal on October 31st, 2006. I'm checking my watch and the calendar. 20 years ago. 20 years. Minnesota's Board of Pardons, composed of Walz, State Attorney General Keith Ellison, and State Chief Justice Natalie Hudson, granted his clemency. They noted that the victim wrote a letter on his behalf. They also pardoned another Laotian criminal as well, a convicted armed robber, before he could be deported. See, this is the new part of the story we weren't hearing. They were letting these people out solely so they wouldn't get deported. That was the impetus. That was the reason why they let these people out. We're talking single digits, 1 or 2 people. They couldn't allow 2 people to be deported. It is so critical that we can't even allow 2 people to be deported.
Charlie Rachling with.
Oops, excuse me. Sorry, that should be this one. It said they also pardoned. Okay, at the time, Walz wrongly referred to Vang as a citizen. I can find no reason how Minnesota will be safer or better if Mr. Vang is deported to a country he has not been to since he was a child. I do not see how it would serve his family nor the economic interests where we have a tax-paying citizen who's creating job growth and living a life free from any criminal activity. Wow. If I didn't see that myself earlier, I would not have believed that he's like, I don't see any reason why we have to get rid of a person who does this kind of stuff. And Marco Rubio told Fox just weeks ago, a foreign child bad guy was freed to once again endanger America's children. We understand he was freed. He wasn't spared, he was freed. To once again endanger America's children after receiving a pardon from Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Tulu Vang admitted to committing heinous crimes against a 10-year-old girl in Minnesota. He attempted to pay her for her silence and dismissed his acts of child abuse as a minor thing just days before. Days. They waited until it was just about time to deport him, and then they set him free. Make you mad? Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely insane. He added, Americans should never have to live in fear that foreign predators shielded from deportation by their own officials could endanger them or their children. Vang's use of Laotian culture was notable for some of us who have spoken or written about the cultural defense. And this is where Jonathan's talking about, the law at this point. I have long drawn the line in the use of the cultural defense on such violent acts. However, troubling outliers remain in the cases. In January of '85, a Japanese immigrant, Fumiko Kimura, tried to commit Oyoko Shinju, or parent-child suicide, after learning of her husband's infidelity. She walked her infant daughter and 4-year-old son in the frigid ocean off of Santa Monica. These people are crazy. We shouldn't have them in America.
Thank you, Maddie.
What a bullet we dodged. These people are clowns. And, you know, if this is a cultural thing, then we don't want your cultural thing in our country.
Amen.
I can't argue with that. If you're telling me that you're coming over here, like so many of the people from Somalia, like so many of the people who are friends with Mandami, if you're telling me your culture is protected in the United States, then that means every young woman is basically prey. Because where they come from, it's okay. If you haven't seen the movie Citizen Vengeance yet, I believe that's the name of it, where, you know, he's got the family at gunpoint, the vigilante does, Citizen Vigilante, and he says, why did you do it? And you're like, well, she was dressed like she wanted it. What? Where I come from, if a woman dresses like that, that means she's basically telling me she wants me to go jump on her with my friends. So if we're going to start using cultural ideology as the basis for crime here in America, we're up the creek. Look what's happening in all those European countries. They literally have gangs roaming around doing the bad stuff to women solely because they look a certain way. And it's part of their culture. Then that should be a basis where that culture shouldn't be allowed here.
Well, I think we just have to bring their issues to the American people, and the American people are going to reject them. Let's talk about the views that they're actually espousing and what they want to bring to the country. You said it, as they say in their documents, all amnesty for all illegal immigrants, no deportations at all, not even the criminals. So let's have a real world.
Now, hold on. Now that takes a whole different perspective that I didn't even think of. No deportations even for criminals. So you're telling me goat humpers can come here and do bad things to women, and we can't deport them for any crime because where they come from, it's not a crime. I wonder how the LGBTQ population would feel if they did some, flight test with some of the people in their community. Hey, we can't deport them or put them in jail. They test flights all the time over there. They're known for it. Let's see what the lift time is of this dude. Nope, can't put him in jail, can't deport, because where they come from, that's just what they do.
Example of that. A few weeks ago, Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, pardoned an illegal immigrant who repeatedly sexually assaulted a 10-year-old girl. And then he pardoned him. He doesn't want to get rid of him. He doesn't want to get him out of the country. And it took Marco Rubio stepping up at the president's direction to basically remove the protections that he had to keep him here. The DSA thinks that guy needs to stay here. He needs to be out of prison, and he needs to be on the streets. They want to force taxpayers to fund sex change surgeries, including for minors. This is in their documents. This is a proposal when Zohran Mamdani ran for mayor of New York. These are the things that they're saying the country needs to do. This is where we need to go. This is not about fixing the American system or improving the American system to them. It's about destroying the American system. And I think when we present that choice to the voters, they're going to side with us, honestly.
I don't think so. Here's why. You're not doing it. Me, other podcasters who are bringing this out, we're not enough. You saw CNN. You saw MS Now. You know what they're saying. Oh, it's not that bad. Oh, it's not communism. They're not throwing people off of buildings. They're not, doing bad stuff to women. Just put on some clothes. You won't have to worry about it. Don't show any skin at the beach. I know it's summertime, but you don't need to be wearing that bikini. You understand how these people feel. Respect them. It's not going to be enough to count on people to vote at the polls to get rid of them when people don't know. People don't understand because it's so literally foreign to our ideology. Just because you see somebody walking down the street, you can't pull the car over and go, hey, man, she wants me. I can tell right now she dressed that way. She's waiting for me to pull her into the bushes. Because I know from where I come from, if I saw somebody looking like that, it's open season for me and my buddies, all of us. Hey, pull a car over. She's telling us. And you don't want to deport them, and you don't even want to report it. They don't want to deport, they don't want to report. How many women out there know when they're walking through these certain parts of towns in some of these cities that they are completely prey? That people can be looking at them and going, yeah, we're going to go ahead and take that. It's sickness as far as we're concerned. How many people in that alternative lifestyle know the same people that you're wearing the scarves around and you're going ahead and saying free this and free that? Those people would destroy you if they didn't need you right now. I'm sorry, it's amazing to me that these people are celebrating the very same people who would kill them. So it's not about voting, it's about educating. It's about, hey man, do you realize this is what they do? Oh, they wouldn't do it to me. Oh, bullshit. Excuse my language. Unless you've learned to fly or grown wings, find out. Go over there. See, that's one of the things I always wonder. Like all the kids here that are protesting everything, go over there. You're a transformer. You want a plane ticket? You're only going to need one way. You won't need a two-way ticket. You won't have to have a return flight. Not if you're going to go over there and walk through the street. I dare you. I double dog dare you. But somehow America has to change. Somehow we're the ones who have to accommodate these other people. They don't have to change their ways. We have to change ours. You can't be a Christian. You can't speak. You can't wear certain clothes. You can't eat that meat. You can't have a pet. It's all this stuff is offensive to me. You have a dog? You can't have dogs. They're filthy. Why aren't they changing? Why don't we change them? Why do we let them in and have them tell us what we need to do? Why are we letting them in and let them pluck animals out of a pond and say, that's just how they are? Well, that's reason number one not to let them in.
Just weeks ago, a convicted sex offender and a foreign national was shielded from deportation by the governor of Minnesota. Laotian national Tu Li Wang was convicted of repeatedly sexually abusing a 10-year-old girl in the state of Minnesota. He even tried to pay his victim for her silence, and he called his heinous crimes a minor thing. Just days before this foreign sex offender was scheduled to be deported, Tim Walz, the governor, issued him a pardon, setting him free to once again endanger the children of America. Well, this week I revoked his legal status in the United States, and as a result, federal agents took him into custody, and as of today, he has been removed.
I heard this, I went, oh my gosh. They followed him, they surveilled him, they found him, they took him, and they got him, and he's gone. Before they had a chance to do anything to stop Marco or Tom Homan, he's gone. Bye-bye-bye. Now, I'm waiting any day. Maybe tomorrow there's going to be some judge that says he has to be brought back. You can count on it. Somebody somewhere is going to come up with some kind of ruling and say, Marco Rubio, you need to bring him back here. No, we don't want these people in our country. Why is that a bad thing to say? Well, he was pardoned by Tim Walz, but he wasn't pardoned by Trump. His stuff got revoked. Now you got to go. Have to keep this is why we need to get rid of these people. They're not suited to be Americans. They're not assimilating. I shouldn't be reading a story about your culture. If you're here on our land, you no longer have the old way. What you did in the old land doesn't matter. This is our country. You need to pledge allegiance. If you're not pledging allegiance, then you shouldn't be here. I almost think we should do that for some of the people who are here. Can't, but you should ask somebody straight up, do you pledge allegiance to the flag? And when they say no, I ain't got nothing to do with you. I don't want you in no big tent.
In the United States. Because of our action, this foreign criminal will never pose a threat to any American ever again. Americans must never be forced by their elected leaders to live alongside foreign sex criminals who have no right to begin with to reside in our country. This administration will always stand with the American people and defend them from violent criminals.
If you had asked me a year ago, would Marco Rubio be this type of guy? I would have been like, no, I didn't see it in him. I don't know what rubbed off on him, but he has been fantastic. I don't know if it's him or J.D. Vance or who's going to be the front runner, maybe Trump in 2028, but he's got the chops. I am thoroughly impressed. I mean, they got that guy off the streets very quickly. And I'm sure the next guy had something to do with that.
What would you say now to Governor Tim Walz?
Can't say it on air, but look,
What would you say to Tim Walz? I can't say it on air. Oh, please say it on air. Please say it and let them beep it out. I would love what you would have to say to Tim Walz. Put it on cable. Do something. Please let Tom Homan tell us what he would tell Tim Walz.
He's a child sex offender, child rapist. I mean, that's how much he supports illegal aliens over U.S. citizens, U.S. citizen children. I'm glad Marco Rubio did it, but you know, this happens more times you can guess. Will, I mean, you know, unless you understand immigration law, I see a lot of times a district attorney or in a sanctuary city, they'll downgrade a crime so they can't be removable. For instance, if you're a resident alien and you get an aggravated felony, you can be deported without even seeing an immigration judge as long as you get a felony conviction with 365-day sentence. And I've seen cases 355. Now, why do you think they did that? They did that so we couldn't act to remove this person from the United States. So this happens a lot, but President Trump, the Department of Justice, and thank God Marco Rubio's all over this, we're going to fight them every time they come with this.
Bring it. Bring it. I want to see more of this. I want to see pictures. ICE.gov has deported Tao Vang, the illegal who did those things, the one that Governor Walz pardoned in an attempt to allow him to remain in our country. While Walz and his fellow sanctuary politicians fight to protect heinous criminals, we will continue putting the safety of the American people first. And look at this dweeb, by the way. Look at this little imitation of a man. This little piece of paramecium being escorted out by two real men, being shown the door. Get out. Look at him. That's who Tim Walz protected. That picture of evil is who Tim Walz decided was more important than other American children. Because you know, these people who have that proclivity to do certain things to kids, it doesn't change. They keep feeling that way. Like he said, where I come from, it's okay. Which means he's done it before. See, that's the part a lot of people probably weren't realizing. In his own defense, he said, where I come from, it's not that big of a deal. The only way you would know it's not that big of a deal is if you've done it before. So this piece of crap imitation of a man, good luck. I hope you just go wherever you need to go. Hell, that's where he needs.
to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Hey, man, what you got?
Hey. Oh yeah, Rumble is going crazy. I'm whack-a-moling. You have definitely struck a nerve over that it was a bunch of bots. I just turned on. You have a feature that enables to turn on subscriber chat only. I just popped it on so that way the trolls can't come in. Folks know that's just temporary. I'll put it back on in a little bit just to give me time to do the news. Anyway, the OSINT defender I just sent you, it looks like Iran is FAFOing again for the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th time. Apparently they struck another vessel, so retaliatory strikes are underway.
I'm looking. Hold on, let me see if I can.
At the very bottom. I just sent it to you.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, this is like a broken record, you know? But you know, it's interesting. It's not really affecting the price of the oil these days. People are just so used to it. You know? But yeah, it says U.S. retaliatory strikes are likely underway following Iran's announcement that they struck a vessel in the Strait of Hormuz, as explosions and reports of strikes in Bushehr and other areas are now being reported. Oh my goodness. Here we go.
Just take them out. Take them completely out. So I saw something else you posted or sent to me. This is really interesting. So tell me about this, because this.
Okay.
What is this?
Oh yeah, Marco. Yes. Yeah. Let me bring that one up. So yeah, he apparently he's dueled with him before.
Yeah.
So I think this was posted on Trump somewhere with many of those videos. I looked at a couple of them. So I saw this. I thought it was pretty cool. So Marco had a mic drop moment against Chris Holan. You know, he doesn't have much of an IQ. So Van Holen goes, I have to tell you directly and personally that I regret voting for you for Secretary of State. Rubio, your regret for voting for me confirms I'm doing a good job. I am proud of what we did to USAID. I do not regret cutting 10 million taxpayer dollars for male circumcisions in Mozambique. And then Van Holen just starts going,
Hold on.
I have to tell you directly and personally that I regret voting for you for Secretary of State. I yield back.
May I respond?
You may say.
Well, first of all, your regret for voting for me confirms I'm doing a good job based on what I know.
That's just a flippant statement, Mr. Secretary.
Can I respond, Mr. Chairman?
You may.
I didn't ask.
Senator, please let the Secretary have
I'd be
the floor.
happy to, but then I can respond to his.
Your time's up, Senator. And
I'm gonna throw a jab at you, but you're not allowed to say anything to me. You know, I thought his time expired. Oh no, don't let him talk. He's gonna hurt me.
Willfully used, I might add.
Well,
your remarks do not represent the view of this committee.
Well, Mr.
Secretary, please.
Well, I'd like to. I can't respond to everything he said because much of these are untrue, but I'll go through a few. First of all, I'm actually very proud of the work we've done with USAID. For example, I don't regret cutting $10 million for male circumcisions in Mozambique. I don't know how that makes us stronger and more prosperous as a nation. I don't regret psychosocial support services.
I raised Sudan, Mr. Secretary.
Can I respond,
Senator, I'd ask you to suspend. You had 7 straight minutes of
I chose to use my time that way, Mr. Chairman. That's my right to
Please
use
suspend
my time that way.
Secretary Rubio.
Well, I can go on. I mean, there's other things here. We spent 220.
I'm reclaiming my margarita time.
Oh my gosh. Where do these people get off thinking they can throw punches, but nobody can throw punches back at them? They got too comfy in their jobs thinking that, you know what, we can say whatever we want, and you little people here can't even respond. And Marco's like, go F yourself.
$27,000 for Big Cat's YouTube channel from USAID. We spent $14 million for social cohesion in Mali, whatever the hell that means. So I can go on and on. I got the list here, and there's more. I didn't even bring the whole list. In the case of El Salvador, absolutely. Absolutely. We deported gang members, including the one you had a margarita with. And that guy is a human trafficker, and that guy is a gangbanger, and the evidence is going to be clear. In the days to come, you're going to see who you went to
Senator,
I'm sorry,
please,
Mr. Chairman.
Secretary Rubio has the floor.
Mr. Chairman, he can't make unsubstantiated comments like that.
Secretary Rubio.
Wait. You can't make... He can't make unsubstantiated claims. Only I can do that. I've been elected. I can do all this stuff that I want to. Please make him shut up. He's embarrassing me.
He's such an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
How the hell did these people get elected? I mean, AOC. I mean,
but wait, there's more.
Has the floor. You had
Secretary
your time.
Rubio should take that testimony to the federal court of the
Senator?
United States because
Well,
he hasn't done it under oath.
Here's another point, okay? There is a division in our government between the federal branch and the judicial branch. No judge in the judicial branch cannot tell me or the president how to conduct foreign policy. No judge can tell me how I have to outreach to a foreign partner or what I need to say to them. And if I do reach that foreign partner and talk to them, I have under no obligation to share that with the judiciary branch. Just like a judge cannot order me to negotiate with a foreign minister of Russia, they cannot order me to negotiate with a foreign minister or the president of El Salvador. And if I did negotiate with them, which we have responded to them, and we've told them we've had communications with the president of El Salvador, I am under no obligation under our division of powers in this country and to share with the judicial branch how I conducted diplomacy of the United States. It would actually be counterproductive. If I started sharing with courts, or frankly, with the media, my conversations with foreign leaders and all of their details, no foreign leader would talk to me again, and we would break trust with them. So I have complied with every court order. What I won't comply with is an order to disclose what I'm saying and what we're talking about with a foreign leader, because then they won't talk to me. Diplomacy doesn't work that way. About the student visas, let me say this. I don't deport anybody, and I don't snatch anybody. The State Department does not have officers in the street snatching everybody. What I do is revoke visas, and it's very simple. A visa is not a right. It is a privilege.
You know, that statement right there, too many people don't accept on the left. They think once you've got your feet in America, you get to stay here forever. That's why they got all pissed off about the Haitians and everything else, is because they're here. They've been working. Everything's fine. Well, sorry. Now you can't be here anymore. You got to go. And all the crying in the world, he's telling the exact truth right now. There's no falsehoods.
People apply for student visas to come into the United States and study. And if you tell me that you're coming to the United States to lead campus crusades, to take over libraries and try to burn down buildings and acts of violence, we're not going to give you a visa.
Is that what Ms. Ozturk did?
We're not going to give you a visa.
Is that what she did? Come on, Mr. Secretary.
And every single one of these
blowing
cases, the
smoke
factors
here
are
now.
different.
Senator,
the bottom line is, if you're coming here to stir up trouble on our campuses, we will deny you a visa. And if you
Does
have
the
a visa
First Amendment
and we
apply
find you,
to
we'll
people
revoke
living
it.
in the United States?
And we're going to do more. There are more coming. We're going to continue to revoke the visas of people who are here as guests and are disrupting our higher education facilities. People are paying money. These kids pay money to go to school, and they have to walk through a
Writing an
bunch of
op-ed
lunatics
to the
who are
tough
here on student
newspapers
visas.
disrupting the
Simple
foreign
as
policy
that.
of the United
I want to
States.
do more. I hope we can
That's
find more of these people.
pathetic, Mr.
In fact, the other day, some guys led a riot. I forgot what university it was, and I asked, please, can you find the arrest records of all the people that were arrested at that riot at that campus? Because if any of them have a visa, we're going to revoke it.
I feel so much safer
All right,
when you lock up people like Ms. Ozturk, Ms. Secretary.
We've had enough time on the subject. Thank you very much.
Rubio has no F's to give. I mean, I love it.
None of them do.
Drop the mic.
At this point, none of them have any F's to give, nor should we. And the way these people are fighting tooth and nail, even for one person not to get deported. The one guy who diddled the kid, they couldn't even please don't make him go too. Yep, he's got to go too. He got to go. Oh, man.
And they always look like that. You know, they're never like toxic masculinity kind of dudes. Like they look like the guy that's like, you know, in the bathroom, you know, like Plattner's back. I heard he was back in a porta-john yesterday. I don't know if that was confirmed. I don't know if it was confirmed.
Oh gosh, that guy. All right,
my God, that's a great video, Barry. Great video.
I thank you. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. So I'm going to finish up here on a Saturday evening. Robin, I, and the grandson are heading to see a movie at 9:15, but we got plenty of time. And I never like leaving people with a bad taste. So let's have some fun here. You guys pretty much know what's coming.
No man should ever enter where we are going. Beware what lurks in the depths of the libtard zone.
Number 10.
My hot take of the moment is the most likely person to be the Democratic nominee is Kamala Harris. And
please, please let that happen. Please give her a full campaign run. Don't let her come in at the last moment. Let's see a full year-long worth of Kamala. I beg of the Democrats, if you truly want to entertain America, please do that. Please, please.
Every poll, it's usually her and Gavin Newsom neck and neck.
I have a list here.
She's usually ahead. If I may just finish.
I have a better list.
She is usually ahead.
I love her. She was great, but she didn't win one time. What makes you think she's going to win again?
I find it hard to believe that based on the money she raised, the name ID she has, and I don't think the party would pass over her for a generic white man.
I like John Ossoff. He's 39 years old. Yeah. I like Josh Shapiro, 53 years old.
I love Josh
Gavin
Shapiro.
Newsom, 58.
That's the problem.
And J.B. Pritzker, 61.
What about...
Did she say Pritzker? It was bad enough when she said Newsom. If she thinks Pritzker could run. Listen to what she just said. She said John Ossoff, the nut job from Georgia, Gavin Newsom, which he might be in jail by then. And then she said J.B. Pritzker? Josh Shapiro? That ain't ever going to happen, and we all know why, because, you know, unfortunately, you think it's bad enough that people in America won't vote for a woman, they're not going to vote for Josh Shapiro. So Josh Shapiro is just basically disqualified because of who he is. That's it. Sorry, I don't feel that way, but too many people do. So you're down to the other three: Ossoff, Newsom, and Pritzker. For the party that loves DEI, it's amazing that her choices were not Kamala, not the black woman, but these guys, these white guys. And out of those white guys, you picked Pritzker and Newsom. Good luck with that.
Pete Buttigieg. What about Pete Buttigieg? Wes Moore. There are some people that are just like...
Wes Moore is good.
Wes Moore is phenomenal. And this is one of the things I love about him.
We all love Buttigieg. Are they going to vote for a gay guy?
I'm not Democrat.
I don't think she was supposed to say that on television. I was going to vote for that kind of guy. So the preclusion of Shapiro and Buttigieg, who's got his own problems as well, now you're still looking... You got, wow, that's it. That's their bullpen. Good luck.
I'm not going to break the party down based on they won't vote for gay white women. I think the identity reduces the charisma of the character, the person in front of us.
Charisma? Pete Buttigieg? J.B. Pritzker? Gavin Newsom? Charisma? I don't think you should bring out charisma when talking to those guys. You know, Democrats could have had some great guys back in the day before they dumped his airplane into the sea. JFK Jr., charisma. JFK Jr. would have had women all going to the polls. Charisma. Now you got these guys? Newsom and Pritzker? No charisma.
Not in reality.
No, I don't think guess what? Reality. Guess what?
Number 9.
They have made efforts to try to get the abuses and excesses of ICE out of the headlines.
All right, so this is fantastic. Ana Navarro, because every time you say a Spanish name, you have to have it a little roll of the tongues. And Ana Navarro, she's going to talk about the bad things that ICE has done. And she gets confronted here by somebody, and it's juicy as hell because, well, first of all, you have to get past the rolling of the tongues.
After Minnesota, which was, I think, such an outrage for most Americans when they saw people being killed in the streets of our country. This last case, it's not, again, it's something else that's not happening in a vacuum. It's the latest case that's happened, but there's been now at least 5 people killed by ICE in the streets of America.
All right, 5. And she acts like they were hunted. She acts like these 5 people, ICE had the scope on them. And ICE decided they were going to eliminate these 5 people. Sort of like what the illegals have been doing to Americans. But no. I've got 5, and I rolled their names off my tongue here, which is, you probably won't even, I believe she almost does these people an injustice. Because every time she names one, like, what did she just say? But wait till the other woman gets a hold of her.
Ruben Rey Martinez, they killed a young man. They killed in San Padre Island in Texas. Silverio Villegas Gonzalez,
Vegas. Why do you do that? Just say his name. I don't understand what you're trying to do. Teach us Spanish? I don't know. I don't get the dialect. I don't speak Spanish. Just say the name. But every time you see this, Saturday Night Live did a skit. I got to find if I can find that skit where they actually made fun of people throwing the names off their tongue like we're supposed to understand.
Porter, they killed him in L.A. Renee Good and Alex Preddy, they killed them in Minnesota. And now Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. There's been
Do you know the names as well of Americans who've been killed by illegal immigrants? Do you have that?
Bam! Out of left field here. The other woman comes in and goes, you got the names of all the people they killed? Oh, you weren't supposed to hear that.
I know some of the names. I don't have the list, but I do know some of the names.
What are their names? What are some of their names?
Listen, we have heard all of the names.
No, just what are some of the names?
This is not me doing a contest of whether you know the names or whether I know the names. I want to pronounce these names.
So you can bring names to the argument, but she can't. Again, just like with Van Hollen talking to Rubio, I get to talk. I get to be the one who does this stuff. You're not allowed to. Hey, what are the names of the people who got killed that are Americans? You know them? No? Well, I don't need to know them.
Because I think we need to put names and faces and stories.
Right? Absolutely.
Okay,
and to the faces of Americans who have been killed by illegal immigrants as well.
The people they killed don't have criminal records.
Did the Americans have criminal records? Did the Americans that these people have come in this country and have done things to, did they have criminal records, or were they just plucked off the street, had ungodly things done to them, and then discarded like trash? But she couldn't name a single one. You worked for CNN, you brought in these 5 names of the people who were killed by ICE, and it never dawned on her, you're going to talk about the Americans? Uh-oh. She was in deep poop right there. I loved it. I don't know who that woman was, the blonde woman, but thank you very much.
Number 8. Their superpower is taking something, making it sound common sense, making it on its surface, address a problem that most people, all people, might agree on. But then, actually using it as a back door, front door window to be able to impede upon your civil liberties.
Like, all of us want to be able to go into our CVS or Walgreens and not have our deodorant and our razors and whatever locked up. It's really annoying.
We even
I can agree. None of us wants to go into a CVS or a Walgreens and find stuff locked up. I don't live in those places, thankfully. I walk into my CVS, I want a vitamin or whatever, I just pick it off the shelf. So I don't live there. Number 2, why do you think they have it locked up? Can we address that? Can we address why they got to lock up deodorant? I don't know. What happens if they don't lock it up? Anybody want to talk about that? Now you're mad because businesses are doing risk control. Because businesses are looking at things like they steal this all the time. So let's go ahead and lock this up. Supervisor, somebody here needs some deodorant. I'll be right there. I'll be right there. And they keep it under lock and key, but they're not addressing that part. They're not saying, hey, the reason why the deodorant is locked up because stanky ass people can't afford it and they steal it.
Rate the deodorant.
Exactly. I'm always just like, this country loves mass incarceration.
We love mass incarceration.
Even inanimate objects.
Not the deodorant got locked up. Oh, Lord.
But so
baby deodorant's over there in the trial size area.
They're mad because people get locked up for shoplifting. What is wrong with these people? Yeah, I can't believe this country is hooked on incarceration. I mean, you can't believe that they have to lock up stuff and people try to steal it. That should all be free. You shouldn't have to worry about going in someplace and calling the supervisor to open it up if you want a straight razor or something. Well, how about telling the idiots in those towns, stop stealing stuff?
Number 7.
How do you rate Donald Trump's second term so far, sir?
I feel like this is one of the first presidents that's actually doing what they said they was going to do.
You know, when you decide you're going to take calls from the audience, especially without a producer, you might want to expect that you're going to get some calls that you're not really prepared for. And Charlemagne, the little G God, got a phone call here that he wasn't expecting from a brother man.
Like most people go on their campaign trail, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and they get in office and they don't do none of that. Like he's doing everything he said he was gonna do.
Well, no, not necessarily.
I feel like it's right for the country.
Because he said on day one he was going to bring the price of groceries down. He said on day one he was going to bring inflation down. You know, he said that he won the election on one word, which was groceries. I mean, clearly people aren't feeling that relief yet in their pockets.
What do you do? Clearly, normal Americans understand a campaign promise and understand that there's pretty much no way on day one anything's going to happen. But these people have seeded their audience into thinking it's been a huge failure, even though things are much better now. Unfortunately for him, he ran into a black member of his audience who's going to school him.
For a living, sir?
I work for a bank.
Okay.
But, okay, so everybody know in your right mind, there's no way somebody could do something instantly. But in terms of what has happened within this year, it's crazy. Like it's no way that you could see the last 4 years and how garbage it was, and then look at just this.
Yeah. There's no way you can look at the last 4 years and see how garbage it was. How does Charlemagne even attempt to answer that? People who actually work for a living, this guy says he works at a bank, people who actually had to go out every single day and do stuff, rather than people who are sitting there watching or listening to Charlemagne, actually know what's going on.
First half of the year and think stuff is not going in a positive direction.
I'm holding my president accountable to the things that he said he was going to do. And those things haven't been done yet.
I got you. He said he was going to bring stuff down instantly, do this instantly. Okay.
He said he was going to end all the wars immediately day one. He said he was going to do these things on day one.
Got you. So you want to be literal to that sense? Cool. I understand. You're right. He didn't do all of these things instantly, but I feel like everything is going in the right direction as planned. Did you talk about the European deal? Did you talk about stuff that is happening in a positive direction?
No, he didn't. They can't talk about stuff in a positive direction. It is the antithesis of every liberal podcaster and host is to ignore what actually is happening. So they must go back to January of 2024, whatever, 25, whatever it was. They have to go back to the following day. Hey, you didn't do it on day one. Yeah, here we are a year later, and they're still holding on to day one.
Number 6.
You got attacked by your rivals for calling yourself a physician, not just a doctor, even though you don't have a valid state medical license in New York or Michigan, which apparently is what you need legally to call yourself a physician.
So this guy is running he's another one of the socialists. He's running for Senate in Michigan. And he's made up all kinds of stuff. Doesn't matter. They got their hooks in this demographic. They're gonna try to push him over the line. Hey, you're not a doctor. Oh, you're a doctor, but you're not that kind of doctor. Stop telling people you're like Dr. Jill Biden and just say, I'm a doctor of, baby weaving. I'm not a physician. Stop lying to people. And what's funny is you got a complete liberal asshat asking the other asshat, and he's putting him on the line.
Wish you'd just stuck to calling yourself a doctor, which you are, to avoid all of this controversy and attacks on your physician status.
At the end of the day, it's not about whether or not I'm a physician or a doctor. The question is, can you see a doctor? It's not about
It's not about me lying. It's not about whether or not I'm a liar. It's about, can you see a doctor? I want to meet the people who say they can't see a doctor. Because as far as I know, working people who have insurance can see a doctor. People who are broke ass, they can see a doctor. They have Medicaid. So who is it that can't see a doctor? And I've wondered this the entire time when they're like universal Medicare. We already have that. We already have it to a certain extent because you probably are paying it. You probably are paying your premium, and then the other people get it for free already. So your audience, your demographic, they don't understand because they already get it for free. So how are you going to convince other people to go ahead and stand in line like Canada and never see a doctor in 24 months and become the emergency room becomes your personal physician? How is that even a sellable point? But you can't ask him because he's not really a doctor. He plays one on television.
Education. It's about whether or not your kid gets a good education. So
Well,
I'm just not spending
that's a good
time.
line, but people would say it's also about, did you tell the truth?
Well, I would say that I was the health director for the city of Detroit, and I've done more to provide.
That's not what he asked you. You see, enough people on television don't interview people the correct way. He should have stopped them and said, that's not what I asked you. I asked you, are you a doctor? It's a very simple question. If you ask me if I'm a doctor, I say, well, kind of. I'm a doctor of love. You mean Gene Simmons, I guess. But other than that, no, I'm not a physician. Very honestly, nope. I can't treat anybody. I can't even treat myself if I get cut. I got to go ask Robin.
More people health care or eliminate their medical debt than most doctors have done in their practice career.
How do you know? You're not a doctor, so how do you know what a doctor has done in his medical career, his or her medical career? And these people just let them vomit all over their stage or their desk instead of asking them. But this guy is creating quite the highlight reel for himself.
Really sparked my curiosity because I watched it. I didn't watch it live, but I did watch it this morning. Is that Haley Stevens has been criticizing you for not releasing your personal finance.
Doesn't he have that Mandami look to him? I'm starting to see this familiarity where they just sit there with their, perfectly coiffed beard and that evil smile and just sit there, and they know they're lying to you and you know they're lying to you, but nobody wants to admit that they're being lied to, including the people on TV, while he sits there and you won't believe this answer. No, you won't believe this. He's good.
Disclosure until after the primary. The former strategist in me is like, why not just release it and take her talking point away?
We absolutely will, and we intend to. Sometimes finances are complicated.
The question, Mr. Little Mullah, was why don't you just release it? His answer, well, we intend to. There is no intend. You just release it. It's complicated. Finances are complicated. For you people who don't know, I just want to let you know, I'm not sure where you come from. I don't know how you get your job, but finances are complicated. It's very hard for me. It'd be way over your head because finances are complicated. And I'm surprised she didn't just say, go F yourself. Go F yourself.
And I can only control what I can control. And
so you can't control releasing your finances? You can't control issuing a document? These people are good with their forked tongues and their little cute smiles. They're so used to bullshit. Excuse my language. You call it what it is. Hey, why don't you release your stuff? It's so complicated.
Unfortunately, when it comes to tax documents, sometimes they're really complicated to get. We are absolutely going to release it.
If somebody you're talking to and you're asking a question and this happens, you don't even know, it's like they start closing their eyes. You sit in front of an FBI investigator and do that. Oh, you don't even understand. I'm trying my best, but it's really, you're lying. At that point in the movie, they come and stick the battery cables to your nipples and go, you're lying. We can see you're lying.
Or the primary.
Haley Stevens has also attacked you and Mike Rogers for being millionaires, who she says conveniently did not file their 2026 personal financial disclosures. You've sought an extension through August 13th, I believe, which is after the primary. Was this to avoid transparency with your voters? Why not release them before the election?
No.
All right, what's the question? The question is, people are saying you're a millionaire. Oh my God, that's such a bad thing. Oh, I can't believe he might be a millionaire. If you're a millionaire, you're proud. Hey, I've done well. Me and my wife, man, we've been killing it. We've been doing really well. And God has blessed us, and I'm not ashamed of it. You a millionaire? Ooh. Oh, I can't talk about that.
Taxes get complicated.
And he starts touching his face and stuff. Your kid couldn't do that. Your child, hey, did you break that vase? Well, this guy shouldn't even be on television. How the hell can he be in lockstep with the Republican? He can't sit still. His eyes closed. He touches himself instead of just saying, yeah, we're millionaires. You know, where I used to come from, that wasn't bad words. Success didn't get you disqualified. Yeah, I'm a millionaire. Oh, that's it. You got it. You bring somebody else in. He's as bad as Graham Plattner. He's a millionaire.
My wife and her family own property abroad, and so getting all those tax forms is a thing. And this is...
What kind of a thing? Getting all those documents abroad is a thing. You mean you have to go to your safe deposit box? I mean, because I'm pretty sure if you own property abroad, you didn't leave abroad and come home without some proof that you own XYZ property. Come on, I've been in real estate. You know, it's not that tough. Hey, we're closing, we're buying this, here are your documents, here you're closing, and take these home and put them in a safe place. It's really tough when you own property someplace else. It's very hard.
By the way, the same extension that...
she says you're a millionaire and you're hiding that.
Well, if you take my assets and my wife's assets together, then I guess they add up to something like that, but...
I knew you'd love this. I know you're sitting back going, he didn't just say that. Yeah. Well, if you take mine and my wife's, yeah, I guess it could be something like that. So yes, the answer is yes, we are millionaires. Love it. Bathe in it. Get the warmth of collectivism. Be proud. You've made $1 million or so. And he can't say it. That's how bad it is in the Democrat Party. He's so uncomfortable. He's trying to make up excuses. Well, if you add up my money and my wife's money, your wife, right? So in most states, that means together. You have commonality. You can't separate that.
My career has never been about trying to maximize on money. Otherwise, I would have just gone and been a surgeon. But, you know.
No, you wouldn't have, because you're still not a doctor. I tried, let me just tell you guys, I tried. There's a guy down here who's a socialist and he's running for office. And I'm like, Ashley, see if this guy's even willing to come on. And she contacted his office, and his office went and looked at the channel, and his secretary or whatever called Ashley back and said, I don't know if it'd be a good fit. And Ashley said, why? Because it seems like he's very MAGA. Yeah, but he lives in Florida. He's 2 towns over from you. You know, he talks to a lot of people in Florida. This might be someplace for you to, you know, show your platform. And I guess maybe they watched the Mark Mitchell video because that was it.
Focus has always been on public service, and it's interesting to try and compare apples to oranges here. If you file on your own, then of course your assets look like one thing, which Congresswoman Stevens does. If you file with a partner, your assets might look like something else.
Wow. Wow. You know why that works? Let me tell you why his statement there works. Because most of the people voting for him have never filed income taxes. So he can make it sound like it's extremely complicated, way more than you guys can understand. I got property in Uganda and I can't find the Ugandan documents. And the courier got lost at the airport. It's a pain in the butt. I don't think I'll have anything till August. Okay. Oh, by the way, when me and my wife file here, you know, it doesn't really, it's completely different. Doesn't necessarily mean you're talking to idiots. Every single one of you who have filed taxes and are married, you're like, what in the hell did he just say? Nothing. That's why they get away with it. They get away with it because they talk to people who have no friggin' idea what they're saying. If nobody has ever filed taxes, if nobody has ever filed a schedule and showed, you know, assets, If they're just filing the 1040EZ, that's bad enough. I bet you most of the people he's talking to haven't even filed a 1040EZ form. Never mind his schedule of assets.
Number 5.
For those who have watched budget after budget, it is tempting to assume that we are engaging in the same dance as our predecessors. Let me assure you, nothing about this is typical. That's why our solutions won't be either. There are two paths to bridge this gap. The first is the most sustainable and the fairest path. This is the path of ending the drain on our city and raising taxes on the richest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. The onus for resolving this crisis should not be placed on the backs of working and middle-class New Yorkers. If we do not fix...
But he just did. He just did what he said he wouldn't do. He voted to give all politicians in New York City an 18.2% raise. He's been here a couple of months, and he already said this isn't enough money. I need more money. What do you need more money for? I thought you guys were against capitalism. I want more. He is going to be making more than the governor of Texas and Florida combined. He is raising his personal salary to nearly $380,000 a year, less than a few months into office. Wow, that warm breath of collectivism doesn't seem so collective right now.
It's this structural imbalance, and do not heed the calls of New Yorkers to raise taxes on the wealthy. This crisis will not disappear. It will simply return, year after year, forcing harder and harsher choices each time. And if we do not go down the first path, the city will be forced down a second, more harmful path. Faced with no other choice, the city would have to exercise the only revenue lever fully within our own control. We would have to raise property taxes.
Okay, so you're telling the good people of New York, you're coming on television and telling the good people of New York, if you don't raise taxes, if I don't get paid more, I'm going to have to go after your property. Because, you know, me and everybody else in City Hall, we all need more money. I cannot believe the people of New York haven't begun getting the pitchforks and torches. This guy is personally saying, let me see if I can find it relatively quick here. The entire schedule of all the people that, here it is. I want you to see this. This is going to absolutely be mind-boggling for you when you see these numbers here. These numbers are absolutely, and they wouldn't be disgusting if it weren't for the fact it's him. Look at this, if you haven't seen this. The new proposed salary for New York City's elected officials are insane. Mondami's proposed salary would be more than the combined salaries, as I said, of the governors of Florida and Texas. The New York City Council members would have higher salaries than any state legislator in all 50 states. So here's the actual numbers. I said 380, it's 305. So the mayor would go from 258 to 305 because 258 just ain't enough. You know, it's just not enough. I'm going to have to raise your property taxes if I don't, get my 305. The city council members go from 148.5 to 175. The council speaker from 164 to 194. Public advocate 184.8 to 218, whatever a public advocate is. The comptroller goes from 209 to 247. The borough presidents go from 179 to 211. So much for being socialist. So much for being anti-capitalist. You're telling me you can't live as a socialist. You can't live on $258,000 a year. Yes, New York's more expensive, but it shouldn't matter because, you're a socialist. That is simply incredible that he cannot live on $20,000 a year. 20,000, not going to cut it. I got to go at least to. Best I can do is 25 grand a month. You get me to 25 grand a month, and I probably won't have to raise your property taxes. But anything less than 25 grand, it ain't going to work for me. I got to make 25 grand a month. I broke that down so you guys didn't have to do the math. That's what he's telling the good people of New York. He's telling the good people of New York, pay me, the socialist. Can't do it. Can't do it for you.
Number 4.
For the first time in my whole career, John, I have voters telling me that they're worried that the president's going to cancel elections, that he's going to declare martial law. There are people who actually have said to me that they're worried.
You know who's worried about it? Democrats. Democrats are worried he's going to cancel the election. Democrats are worried about there being people watching the polls. Democrats are the ones who are all freaked out about what may happen in terms of the votes and looking at ballots. She's so full of crap. There's nobody out there going, oh, we might seize the elections. Oh, no, what are we going to do?
They're not even going to have elections in November. And, I try to reassure them, but when the president makes a move like this, getting rid of all of the rest of the Election Assistance Commission members, that was the central focus of lawsuits where he signed an executive order, remember, that tried to force states to turn over their citizenship roles and have the Election Assistance Commission change the form, the vote by mail form, to ask whether someone's a citizen, and a court stopped him from doing that. So he is doing everything he can to control.
You want to finish that? You sued to stop a court from doing that, and then what happened, Debbie? What's happened since then? Oh yeah, a higher court called the Supreme Court said, go ahead, you can fire him. How do you leave that part out of the story? Yeah, we didn't like it, and we sued, and the judge said we were right, and that's where she left it. She didn't say, well, the Supreme Court said you can go ahead and fire all of them, get rid of them.
Control elections.
Number 3.
And that's what I have to say to America. Aren't you tired? Aren't you?
Nope.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
Tired of being embarrassed? Aren't you tired of not having anybody hear the desires or your problem? Aren't you tired of having to make excuses that don't make sense? Aren't you tired of things you once believed in being eroded and having to contort yourself to make? Aren't you tired?
Nope, not at all. Can't wait for more. Can't wait for more. Love it. I'm pretty sure most of you are like, nope, not tired. I can run a couple more races. We're ready to go. Tear it all down. Do what you need to do. Get rid of these idiots. Nope, not tired. See, that's the problem with these people. They speak in such cocoons and echo chambers that they don't realize there are tens of millions of people like, burn it down. Get rid of these Democrats. Get rid of these socialists. I'm not tired at all. Not tired. We're ready to run. We'll keep going.
It's an exhausting thing to have to retell yourself stories you know don't make sense. It's exhausting that somebody cares more about a game than your life, or more about a ballroom than your living room.
Why do I give a shit about your living room? Not mine. See, that's one of the problems with the Democrat Party. They want you to worry about somebody else's living room. I need to go out there and make sure that woman has what she needs, her and my grandson who happen to be out there. Why do I care about your living room? It's not my responsibility. It's not your responsibility. I'm sorry if you can't afford to feed your children, if you're capable. If you are working and you need help, a bridge, we are here to help people bridge the time before they can do what they need to do, but we're not adopting you. You can't afford a big screen TV? Sorry, read a book. And I think this is the problem, is that they expect everybody to have the same thing. No, if you can't afford a 60-inch screen, so be it. There were times in my life where I couldn't afford a 60-inch screen. I had a little box that I would watch. Me and my roommate would come home and in between jobs and watch a little football or something. I didn't feel bad. Didn't feel bad at all. had my bucket of chicken, ate my food, went to sleep, took a shower sometimes. Not enough. My mom used to get mad. But anyway, nobody cared about my living room. Why do I care about theirs?
Or more about a pool than your being able to pay. Like, aren't you tired? And when you are tired, I suspect things to change. But I'll never forget, and it was the first time I'd ever looked and said, what part I played in this? Who am I in this? But the words, aren't you tired? And when America is tired enough, I suspect things will be different.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
My grandson, as I said to you, is down here training for his senior year. I've got him hooked up with some trainers, and they're whooping his butt. They are making, he gets done, he can barely sit, and the water's he's just drenched. And 2 days ago, I looked over at him, and I said, are you tired? Is this too much? Hell no. Let's go. See, yes, he's from my blood. I knew before I asked him what the answer to that question was. I know that the trainers told him when he signed in the first day, because the trainer looked him right in the eye, and the trainer said to him, just want you to know, I'm going to kick your ass. Straight up. So at that point, he had a choice. He could have said, I want to go home. Let's get out of here. That looks like it might be too tough. Or A, because there wasn't a B choice, A, he looked at the guy and he goes, I know where I want to be. I know where I want to play. I know I want to play Division I. I want to do this. Bring it. Let's go. And every single day since then, it's been the same thing day after day. A completely whooped-ass kid at the end of 2 hours who I looked at yesterday and didn't think he was going to get up out of the chair. And you have to know when you're training for football or anything in life like that, that's what makes you better. When somebody can break you to the point where you got nothing left. And today, a Saturday morning, he had to get up, and they took him to the weight room, and they told him, we're going to work to failure. If you've never lifted weights to the point where you lift to failure, is when you feel like you don't have another rep in you, that's when you start counting. See, everybody can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't count those. That's just warming up. When you get to the point where you don't know if you can get the next one, that's 1. That's 2. And you may not get to 3 or 4. That's total failure. Everything else to that point was just getting to failure. Yesterday, he surprised the hell out of me. We took videos and sent it around. Talk about he did a personal best. This kid walked in there, and I have the video. I'm gonna show it to you. I got to block out his face, but he deadlifted 600 pounds. 17-year-old kid deadlifted 600 pounds. The coaches were like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, he got that. He got it. I tell you, I knew he had it. 600 pounds. Why? Because we don't quit. There's no quit in us. There's no quit in you. There's no quit in MAGA. No, we're not tired.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
2.
5 months after she shut down her daycare, booked a flight to London, and was arrested by the FBI.
Ms. Mahmoud, are you here to plead guilty today?
See, this is what they're used to. This is their culture. Yeah, there's no guy standing on the side of the road going, yeah, I got to hit that. I don't even know what that is. So of course they don't think that. Of course they don't look at that and go, oh man, she must really want it. Do you know what it is? Oh, I have no idea. It could be a robot. I have no idea what the hell that is. But anyway, what that is a fraudster. What that is a person who stole $10 million or $12 million. She stole $12 million. She don't even know how to dress in America. And then she pled guilty.
50-year-old Fahima Mahmood admits she committed daycare fraud. Running Future Leaders Early Learning Center on 36th and Chicago Avenue in Minneapolis since 2015, Mahmood collected the most Child Care Assistance Program, or CCAP, money in the state last year at $3.7 million. In federal court while entering her plea, Mahmood and her attorney specified that there were children attending her daycare and that she has receipts. But the government didn't accuse her of inflating attendance at her center during the swift investigation that followed the attention in Minnesota placed on daycare fraud. Instead, the FBI learned from families that Mahmood did not charge them the required copay to receive CCAP money, which provided incentive for more families to sign up. By pleading guilty to conspiracy to defraud the United States, Mahmood admits receiving $4.63 million.
I can't with these people stealing our money. Millions. And as I've said before, there is no way in hell that these people came over on a boat, don't even know how to dress here, and stole millions of dollars. There's no way. Somebody had to be involved. Somebody had to tell them, do this. And by the way, kick back a certain amount to me. Now, the fact that she took a plea deal, there's got to be some people in Minneapolis with some butt clenching. She took a deal.
$1 million in taxpayer money with that scheme. Ms. Mahmood, any comment? Are you going to be able to pay back any of the money? That's not all. Mahmood also admits taking part in the Feeding Our Future meal fraud scheme, claiming to serve up to 60,000 meals per month to needy kids out of her daycare, fraudulently collecting another $850,000. And court papers say she diverted much of those taxpayer funds to buy real estate and go toward her other companies like...
Wait a second. Real estate and her other companies. So these people were just creating criminal enterprises. They have just came over here on the boats, and all of a sudden they're just stealing millions, buying property, creating businesses. Have you ever filed for an LLC? Just asking. And if you have, great. But if you haven't, would you know how? And then would you know how to get the funding and the millions of dollars that these people stole?
This autism center, which has generated another $3.1 million in taxpayer reimbursements over the last 5 years. What the government will seize when Mahmood is sentenced has not yet been determined. And sentencing will be slightly complicated because the judge can go as low as 2 years in prison or close to 7 years in prison if she puts the daycare fraud and the meal program fraud terms back to back. Rena.
Now, Lou, they used a different kind of prosecution. This went a little bit faster. Will we see something like that in the future?
This was a faster investigation because they didn't have to do all the surveillance to see.
Nah, that's not it. Sorry, Scooter. It's a faster prosecution because she sang. You're hearing the same names. You're hearing Feeding Our Kids and all this stuff. There's a group of people at this point that are singing. They are saying, he did it. That guy did it. I was just told to sign the papers. And so she's probably going to get like the hand slap and recoup the money. Where'd you send the money? Where'd you wire it to? By the way, we already know. Scott Besson is tracing all this money. I'm going to talk to you guys tomorrow that some of you guys may be upset about Doge. Don't be. I bet you all of this stuff is wrapped up in Doge. I bet you every single one of these things is wrapped up in Doge. Why do we not need Doge? Because we got algorithms. We're able to go in and do all kinds of stuff that they did to actually find all this stuff.
If she was overcounting or inflating her numbers of her attendance, she wasn't making the parents pay their share of the reimbursement in order to get more of them to sign up. If there's other ones just like that, it's a quick way that they could charge more people daycare fraud.
All right, Lou. Thank you.
Media? I didn't see that on one of the big media stories. I didn't see it on CNN, didn't see it on MSNBC, didn't see it on CBS, NBC, ABC. Don't talk about the fraud. Never talk about the fraud. It's it's like Fight Club for Democrats.
Number 1.
She can connect any two events in history with yarn, thumbtacks, and unwarranted confidence. She doesn't need sources. She is the source. She once debated herself and lost twice. Intelligence agencies follow her Twitter just to see what they're doing next. She never met an obvious explanation she couldn't turn into a confusing 2-hour podcast. She possesses priceless secrets, but will share them with anyone for a small subscription fee. In her world, all roads lead to Israel, even cul-de-sacs. She is the most kooky podcaster in the world, but then again, the feds told us to say that.
I couldn't help it. I had to close on an upbeat note. I hope you. It's the Jews. The Jews did it. Oh my gosh. Oh, I hope this woman has to. I hope she gets sued into oblivion. I don't know who made that. That was like one of the best things I've ever seen. It's crazy. Oh boy, oh boy. Esme, you still here? Did you like that?
I love that. Even cul-de-sacs.
Even cul-de-sacs.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
That is funny.
You know, for all the people who asked, like, are you covering the Charlie Kirk thing? I'm like, nope. There's enough people out there doing that. I'm just sitting here in the pews watching everything from the cheap seats because, my gosh.
Wow.
there's
all right,
a lot.
well, I have one quick one for you. One quick one from Peak Headset.
There's a lot of comeuppance that's probably going to be happening. Let me see. Pete Hegseth, is it from Eric?
The very yes. Well, Eric Doherty.
Yeah,
Eric
hold
Doherty.
on. Okay. Hold
going
on.
in Iran.
Here we go.
Pete Hegseth just dropped this line after President Trump launched a third wave of strikes. I think it's more than that on Iran. Iran made a poor choice. Now they pay. Look at his face too. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Bum bum Iran.
Hug those pillows tight there, guys, and the mullahs, they need to hug them tight because they're going to get bombed to hell tonight.
Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Well, I'm going to a movie, so I won't get to see it till I get home.
All right. Well, put your phone on vibrate if I have to send you anything.
Okay. Hey, we're
going to blow up the movie theater.
It's funny. We're at 3 hours right now, so I hope I made up for my last 2 days of having to run out the door. But we'll take it from there. Hold on. All right. So let me do super chats and you guys. Oh, what did I just do? Hold on a second. I hit a button and I'm seeing Blue Chew commercials are coming up in here.
Oh no, not Blue Chew. Hey Larry, you'll be up all night.
in the movie theater and everything.
Oh boy. All right, I gotta go.
Wait, before we go, I want to make sure everybody knows and hopefully you heard from them, SB. All the winners from the trivia questions all got their $100 gift cards. So we're probably going to start that up again next week. So
all right. Well, I actually had an email from Rhonda saying that maybe that it's OBE. She said she had not gotten it.
When did she email it to you?
Rhonda, if you're still in the chat, maybe you can say whether you got it or not.
Because Ashley, I sent Ashley the receipts. I thought she sent it to you. I will make sure that you have the receipt for Rhonda, but it went to the email you gave me.
Okay.
So
if she still has any problems, I'll email and I'll try to figure it out. But she just wrote I didn't get it.
All right.
Rhonda, Rhonda, confirm your email address to me.
Tell her to hold on. And during the after party, I'm going to jump in my email and I'll send it to you. Tell her to check her spam folder. Check your spam folder.
Yeah, Rhonda, check your spam folder. All right, sounds good.
All right, everybody, let's do super chats and rock out here. G. Fisher, does Carville work at a liquor store? Sure looks like it. Yeah, I mean, I cannot believe all the liquor he has there. Ronaldo, once Castro took power, he killed those who helped him that weren't part of his core Communist Party. Lenin and Mao did the same thing. Yep, they sure did. Thank you, Gwendolyn. Thank you very much. Ringing a bell. Thank you, Gwendolyn. Cutting edge. As I said before, what I liked is that they said their goal is communism. Trump will act on premise for that goal they want. Yeah, they're already stating it. Maybe that's why that's probably why the media is trying to downplay it, because they don't want them to get in trouble. Stupid kids. Cutting edge. As I said before, what I liked is that they said their goal is communism. Trump will act on premise. Oh, did I read that twice? No. Yes, I did. Mr. Mike, me as MAGA and them Democrats don't agree, but we had a bigger problem. Social communists, we need to unite to destroy them, and then we can spat again later. Enemy of my enemy is my friend. Liddell, I always wondered what happened to the kids from Children of the Cord. Yep, now we're finding it. Chiosop, the ones who capitulate to the commies think they will be spared. Nope, they won't be. They'll be coming for them. Eventually, they come for everyone. Exactly. Linnell, I have audio of my grandpa's recounting his escape from Austria during the Nazi takeover. He became a VP of Stearns Jewelers. I would love to share it. Oh, that would be awesome. Starfleet, thank you very much. Hank Williams Jr. sung in October 2011, this country sure as hell been going down the drain. We know what we need. We know who to blame. United States Socialist States of America. How do you like that name? I'll keep the USA and y'all can keep the change. See, now you're going to make me go into the archives and find that song. Thank you. Kelly, Barry, please tell me where to find that commie socialist video. You know, let me just tell you, there's a good, if you're on X, there's a good profile for a lot of this stuff. It's called DSA Watch. So if you go on X and go to DSA Watch, there's so many of those videos. I think that might be where I got it from. Ronaldo, in order to preserve our republic, our founders gave us the Second Amendment, and we will probably have to use it. Penny Quarter, global socialism, communism is far worse than Soviet Union. Communism on a global scale, billions will die, not millions, but billions. Geosop, don't call them Commie News Network for nothing, CNN. Exactly right. The rich ones think they will get their own caliphate. Nope, they're sadly mistaken. Mountain Goddess, social services we already have are infected with fraud. Not coincidence, instrument of socialism. They stay in power this way. Backdoor for money needed. I agree. Brian Newland, when you and SB play NLH, what limits do you play? No limit. No, I always play. I like to play tournaments. I only go into table 1 and 2, stuff like that, when I can't get a seat. SV, I'm not sure he can ask you what he goes, but I like to play tournaments only. But if I have to play, I play 1 and 2s. Have a great win. Love your show too. Thank you. Thank you. Barb Crittenden, I own a 68 Chevy Malibu, all original. Wow. It still runs great. Awesome. Good car, man. Those cars had some muscle engines too. Chiosop, country falls because of politician inactivity, civilian capitulation, and one waiting for the other to act, leaving brave patriots to pew out of the mess. Agreed. Chiosop again, if Kamala was installed, we'd already be there for sure. Micro, hey Barry, what are you going to do when Trump is what are you going to do when Trump is, so he's talking about, I remember people like, what are you going to do for content after the election? Yeah, there's a whole bunch, obviously, so we're still going. Ciara, Umala Ubarak. God bless our President Trump. Okay, thank you. Just learned something. Umala Ubariki Raswitu. Yeah, I love that. Alec, if you look at the Soviet Revolution, Lenin's party was not a communist party. It was called a social democrat party. Imagine having Lenin as someone you aspire to be. Chiosop, that's why they need to assimilate, but they won't. Nope, they probably won't. Hey, Neil. Hi, Barry and team. Thanks again for always sharing info we need to know and share. The madness must stop. God bless Trump, and God bless and protect America. Thank you very much. Chiosop again. When we give to their shoot hole, we have to assimilate. Yeah. It's all about assimilation. You want to come here, you should have to be like us. Mountain Goddess, have you seen these American women marrying these Islamic men? One just got, wow, that's so sad. So sad. Chiosop, some people who knelt for BLM at churches capitulated. Have you been noticing all the churches burning, especially in New York now? Lupe, unless the media is leashed on by lying to government, they will continue to feed lies and cover the truth. Yep, that's for sure. Philly, true. My Minnesota guy freed. Officer Chauvin remains in prison. Shiosop, let the Laotian man live in the judge's. Oh, wow, that would be something. Make him have to deal with it. Linnell, bring back punishment fitting the crime. Yeah, take these people out. Mountain Goddess, medieval problems need medieval solutions. Oh, bingo, love that one. Mariah, we are crazy about Marco. Right on the money. Thank you. Thank you. And Ronaldo, I can be a doctor if I have $50 and send it to India. Cutting edge, Mehdi Hassan, that was the guy he was talking to, is not libtard. He's Islamist reporter from Britain. He really have very dark videos of his past. Yeah, dig into him. Florida Magaman, think Trump will unleash on the commies soon? For sure. I really do. He's telling us. He's telegraphing his shot. Chiosop a couple times. Rip out the twister pad for Hassan. He is slippery. He's talking about Hassan Piker, that guy. If his salary is $360,000, imagine what he's stealing on top of that. That's true. Can you imagine fighting and saying that $258,000 isn't enough? Chiosop, he'll end up with option 3, both rich and poor taxed. Scruffy isn't openly plotting an insurrection treason. I think the other part is you have to have the means. And so they're saying stuff that's treasonous, but they really can't do anything right now. Where was I? Scoriton, don't vote for Byron the Rhino, snubbed you. Byron, it wasn't Byron Donalds who snubbed me, it was this other guy who's a socialist. But Byron still won't return Ashley's calls either. White Wolf, Barry, what's your go-to pizza? I don't eat pizza anymore. He hates pizza. I think he just likes a meat lovers type thing. Deborah, thank you. Dolores, thank you for all your hard work, she says. Thank you very much. And Barry, pineapple on your pizza? Never. Even when I was a big pizza eater, there was no pineapple. That's not pizza. I grew up around way too many Italians to put pineapple on a pizza. You don't do that. You don't do that. All right, I'll see you guys more than likely tomorrow. I'm gonna go see a movie here in a little while. So thank you guys for tuning in.